Alrighty, what's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Season 3, Episode 37 of Hit the Books, the podcast all about sports betting, the best bets you should be taking, and everything surrounding sports. As we're moving through the second round of the NBA and NHL playoffs, we have some MLB and other things to look at this week as well. Kentucky Derby this past week is as well. But that's all I got here. Let's jump into this week's episode and introduce my co-hosts, Huff, Ace, and Mackie. Ace, what do you got for me this week?
I mean, I missed last week's podcast, but I am back in the cut, ready to go. And the Boston Bruins are in another round. The Boston Celtics are in another round. I mean, I'm excited to get talking to sports. Not going to prelude anything I've got to say, but yeah, so excited to get into it. Love this time of year, and everything's been going well so far.
Love it. Nice to hear from you. Mackie, let's send it to you next here. What do you got for us?
Yeah, New York sports are cooking up. You got the Knicks with a 1-0 series lead, the Rangers with a 2-0 series lead. See a little preview where we could see a little Boston, New York Eastern Conference Finals matchups in both sports. I wouldn't hate that, but
Need it.
Yeah, other than that, not much going on.
Good stuff, Mackie. Huff, finish it off here for us before we jump into this week's episode. Episode 37 here. What do you got?
Yeah, not much going on with me. Unlike Mackie and Ace, I don't have any teams left in the playoff race, so just rooting on. Been watching a lot of NBA, not much of the Eastern side. Obviously, I think this Knicks Pacers series is getting a little better, obviously, but Ace, I think I'm just going to continue to bet on the Celtics spread in this series, and I think I'll go 4-1.
Yeah, it's
at
like
least.
UConn. You got to take
Not
that
like
same
UConn.
approach.
Relax.
3-1, 4-1.
Well, drop the game as 15-point favorites at home to the Heat. It's not like UConn.
Yeah, but didn't they cover every single other one? And just like the whole season as a whole, it's like if you do that every night.
When the Celtics have won this year in the playoffs,
if you do that every night, you might as well keep rolling it because it's probably going to cover more often than not. But it should get harder, right?
I don't know. They're a 13.5-point favorite against Cleveland. They're coming off, a 28-point win?
So, I mean, but you got to think, though, as the round goes on, especially going into the next round and the finals, like you would think at some point it'll slow down, right? It's kind of crazy. I know it's one game in round 2, but watching round 1 and then just early sample size, I know you're talking about coming off game 7. We're going to talk about that later. But it's crazy how much they're beating people by. It's not even close.
Yeah, I agree. I had them last night. I think I'm looking at it again for game 2 tomorrow night, but
you're more interested in the insects right now, though. Big ant guy.
Yeah, big Timberwolves guy. I think we could see I like my Timberwolves to come out of the West. I don't know. I'm really just hoping we get Knicks Celtics to hear you two chirp each other.
Bruins Rangers.
He was saying
I'd rather Bruins Rangers.
I'm rooting more. I know. I'm rooting more.
Yeah, because there would be no goals
in
any game, Mac. It'd be 0-0 going into triple overtime every time.
That would be a crazy series for sure.
And you guys are the two best teams in the East. So it's like no one wants to see the Cavs go to the East Conference Finals. No one wants to see the fucking Pacers go. I mean, I'm sure there's some people that want to see the Pacers
go. The families of the players.
Yeah. They hopped on Halliburton, I guess, if you like Halliburton. But, yeah, no one wants to see a Cleveland, Indiana Eastern Conference Finals here. But, yeah, I'm definitely pulling for both your guys' NBA teams. NHL, I did pick against both of them going into this year or into this round. So not looking too hot there. But, yeah, so like you said, great time of year, second round of the playoffs in the NBA and the NHL. Not as many games per night, but still obviously some great basketball, some great hockey going on. We saw Mackey's Rangers get a big win last night in double overtime. So those kinds of games, you just can't turn them off. And I end up staying up way past my bedtime to watch some of these games, but it's definitely worth it.
Sometimes you rep that New York hat, but in a different sport.
Yankees.
Every once in a while. I actually don't know where my Yankees
is. Don't worry about
it. My new one's been the Rockies. Just they're terrible.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm a big Marlins guy. Marlins guy for me. Mackie rocks the Mets for that reason.
Yeah, good style, man. Good. Fuck you.
Alrighty, boys, let's get moving here into this week's episode. Starting off here with the question, what are your top 3 NHL arenas? Where would you want to call home if you were a professional hockey player? Curious to hear what you guys got for this one coming into this week.
I'm most interested, Jesse. You better think of a list here. You're probably the only one that's been to almost every fucking NHL stadium. Yeah. Not for a hockey game, though, also for work. You've been to definitely the most away games, but you've definitely been to every stadium.
I know there's one that Huff's going to have on his list, so I want to hear his first, because if not, I'm going to be like, damn, I can't believe you didn't have this team. but I want Huff to go first here.
I didn't see this until
Go off
now,
the
so
cuff.
mine's gonna be a little bit
Yeah.
off the cuff. Yeah. So I'm gonna do. I'm probably gonna go Vegas
that's
at 3.
I knew that was coming. I was gonna say like Huff has to have Vegas in there.
I'm probably gonna go Vegas at 3. I'm gonna leave out my Penguins just because obviously everyone knows a reason there. Number 2, I'd probably go with maybe like I want to throw the Panthers in there, but like for classic, maybe like my number 1's the Red Wings. Number 2 is I that could be anywhere, any team of like the Florida Panthers. I've been there. Nashville, that's another 6 stadium. I'd probably maybe throw like a Toronto or a Montreal in there just for the get up there in Canada.
God.
I think one of those Canadian markets would be pretty cool to play for. But number 1, definitely Detroit, hockey town for a reason.
Bell Center, which is actually called Center Bell. Pretty good building, actually.
Is that Montreal?
Is it in like a cool area? I've always wanted to go to a
it's
game.
It's a pretty cool area, and then like an hour south of it's like, or an hour and a half south is Quebec City.
I mean,
most fun I've ever had in Canada.
Everyone says Quebec City.
It's awesome.
They should put a team back there. The Utah should move there.
French speaking though, right?
Yeah, but touristy.
Montreal is too, though.
Yeah, but very, very cool. Who wants to go next? Anybody?
Mac, you go for it. I'll go last.
All right, I'll rip. I'm gonna go. I'll go 3-1 here. Number 3, I'm gonna go Ball Arena. I feel like I feel like Avs have a nice place out there. I know they split with the Nuggets out there, but you know the elevation aspect is also good. Nice home field advantage, and I think it's pretty electric there. I've been to a game out there; it was pretty cool. Number 2, I've never been, but I think I don't even know what it's called, but the Predators. I just think the yellow. Yeah, I just think I know you guys were just there. Is probably pretty electric. I think that they got something going there, and the yellow aspect, it just like pops, just makes everything a lot better. Number 1, I'm gonna go.
The coolest part about that stadium is it is right the fuck on Broadway.
I didn't even know that. That's even better. But number 1, I'm gonna go with the Garden, the real Garden, Ace, not your little fake Garden over there, Madison Square Garden. You can't beat it, man. The world's most famous arena. You got 2 elite teams playing there right now. That place bumps. Give me Madison Square Garden, number 1.
Isn't that place more famous
Mackie,
for hip hop artists and boxing matches?
And they got these sports teams lighting it up right now.
Mackie, here's what I want to know. A true question that I've always wanted to know. Where do like the guys on the Rangers and like Yankees like that? I know New York's full of money, but like, is there like an area where they all like coop up?
Where they live?
The Penguins, they all live in Cranberry.
It's not open like that. Like not everyone knows, but both of their training facilities are in Westchester, so I'm assuming it's like southern Westchester where they live.
So they don't live like you think the younger guys live in the city and the older guys like live out by the practice.
I really don't think any. I mean, yeah, I'm sure a few of them live in the city, but I don't think a lot of them live in the city. I mean,
that would be so annoying to live in the city.
Some of them. Yeah, I thought that was the Westchester area. That's what I always remember as like
it's definitely the southern Westchester area where a lot of them live. But no, it's not like you guys know where like Big Ben lives and stuff. Like it's not like common knowledge.
Yeah, there's like 3. I mean, there's like 3 areas of Pittsburgh where like all the athletes.
Yeah, it's not common knowledge like that. But I know like one guy lives like 15 minutes from me. Mitchell Robinson lives like 15 minutes away from me.
And how far of a drive is that for him to go to a game?
I mean,
you know his ass isn't taking a train.
Yeah, you're right. Probably 45 minutes to an hour with the traffic and everything. I mean, a little more.
Yeah.
But I mean, the training
facilities.
Training facilities 15 minutes from my house, so that's why they're all.
The Knicks.
Both of them, they're both in the same spot.
They share practice facilities too. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right,
I'll go with my list here. Coming in with the NHL stadium rankings. I guess I took a few different things into account, but I'll go with Amalie Arena first. The Tampa Bay Lightning. I think living out in Tampa, the success they've built and the atmosphere in the arena, the fans actually show up for that. It's like the biggest Tampa sport, maybe the Bucks too because of Brady. But yeah, I got Amalie Arena there just because of that area too. Would love to be a player there. Number 2, I'm going to go with the Winnipeg Jets Stadium. I believe it is called the Canada Life Center. Just the way that place rocks during the playoffs. I mean, that whiteout, that would be insane to play in front of some of the most diehards there. I know it's up in the middle of nowhere, but that'd be crazy to play in front of on a nightly basis. It's a pretty big home ice advantage, I think, too. The number 1, Mackie said the Madison Square Garden because it's more well-known, but the TD Garden has much more banners up in that rafter, so I'd be loving to play there. One of the most historic places, historic franchises from all time, and they have very good home success. Going to hope to continue with this postseason here, but yeah, so historical and so many great memories there. I couldn't pass that one up.
Ace, Winnipeg was the one I just left out. I was gonna put them at 3, but I
Dude,
threw it
imagine
out.
playing in front of that crowd. You know what I wouldn't want to do is be an away team in Winnipeg. That would be brutal.
Yeah. I mean, the Avs had no problem with it, but it's definitely
If you're in the if you're in the playoffs, it's not
Yeah,
that big
yeah,
of a
you're
deal.
not wrong. It should be a bigger deal than it is, I guess. It's in Connor
All right.
Hellebuck's head for sure.
Let me rip through my list here. My third one is probably American Airlines Center there down in Dallas. It's a great arena. I don't know why. It's just like that sea of green looks good, and then it's a good building too. Number 2, I'm going with Bridgestone Arena. It's just classic. Great location. Location's everything. And that building pops. Like you said, Mackie, the yellow is just so good. That concourse, it's huge. You don't feel like you're in an arena. Like there's so much room to move around. And then number 1, I'm probably going Vegas. That building just is unreal. Also, location. Like, just can't beat it. And then having the UFC element with it too in the same building is crazy. But Vegas is another team.
Is
Can't
Vegas
go wrong.
Is Vegas the newest stadium in the league?
Utah. No, Utah's playing
that
at,
building's not necessarily
Jazz.
new, but do you mean newest team?
I guess newest like setup of a rank, so I guess the Kraken would be, but it's
No,
Well,
that
Kraken
arena's super
took
old.
over an old
yeah, that's what I'm
arena,
saying.
too,
But
yeah.
no, I'm saying someone that came in and like recreated to an NHL team. Like they would be the 2 most recent.
Yeah.
But I guess that stadium, it's got to be sick, right?
Here's probably my bottom 3, in no order: Buffalo, Calgary.
Gross, dude. I will tell you firsthand experience. It's gross. Everything about Buffalo.
My bottom 3 would be Buffalo,
Columbus?
Calgary, and no, I'd rather play in Columbus than probably Long Island.
UBS.
No, that's not true. They have a brand new stadium.
Nah, UBS sucks too. Don't let them.
Terrible.
I also
Terrible.
just hate the Islanders. I hate their jerseys. I could.
But Long Island's
terrible
got to be
building.
nicer than Columbus now.
No, dude, Nationwide's
No.
nice.
At least Columbus is
Nationwide
like,
is a nice.
Dude,
arena.
Nationwide's beautiful.
and Columbus is like a nice
Their
city.
arena
Yeah,
district's great.
It's definitely an underrated place and an underrated arena as well.
Little Caesars Arena, I believe, is the newest built arena.
Which is that one?
That's
Detroit.
Detroit.
Oh, yeah, you're right. That makes sense. That's why I didn't put Detroit in my top 3 too, because I was happy you said that. Because imagine you score a goal and they throw an octopus on the ice. But not other than that, it's just
In
What about
Nashville, I threw a
catfish?
bucket of
Yeah.
catfish.
Yeah. Oh, it's whack.
the Joe though. That place is so classic. Since it's a new arena, I couldn't put it in there. Jesse, I was thinking of the American Airlines Center too. I think that would be a great one as well.
Just a cool building, like how it's designed and everything's cool. And then on TV, it looks nuts.
What about the Kings?
Remember walking past it? It
I
doesn't
thought
even look
about
like
saying
an
the
arena.
Kings
It
though.
doesn't.
The Kings isn't a bad one.
The Kings is just no one gives a fuck
Yeah.
about hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's why I was thinking Sunrise too. At least in Tampa, they care more about the hockey team. But Sunrise,
All they care about in LA is the Lakers and the Dodgers. I feel
Hmm.
like.
is that the best place to play in California though? LA, Anaheim, or San Jose? Where are you going?
I'd probably pick
LA
I
for
don't know.
sure.
I've never been anywhere
LA,
out
LA
there.
for sure.
Go
I've
Anaheim.
only
I don't know.
I've only
I'd
been
probably-
to LA.
I'd probably go
I'd
with
rather be in
Anaheim, yeah.
Orange County than LA County anyway.
Yeah, I just feel like that'd be a sick stadium to play at though. Vintage team though, they're the best like historical team out of all of them. Get some sick throwbacks to rep
The
too.
And the Ducks have a sick goal horn. They're up there with one of the better goal horns in the NHL.
Alrighty, let's keep it moving here into this week's episode. Some notable dates to keep in mind. On May 16th, the PGA Championship begins at Valhalla Golf Club in Louisville, Kentucky. Looking forward to that. Do we have anything on that?
I didn't really write much down. I was more just gonna look into that
Cool.
next week because that's next weekend. Rory's the favorite.
Apparently, Rory lights it
Scotty-
up at this place.
Yeah, everyone's picking Rory to win it. Ski's not going to win it, but Scotty not even listed on here. I think he might. I don't know if there's either just odds not posted or if they don't know if he's going to be back or because I know he's missing this. Was it this weekend or last weekend for his kid? I don't really know. I don't see any shot where he misses a major. He's going for that the Grand Slam, and if he plays, give me Scotty Scheffler to bring it home.
Lots of good stuff. Looking forward to it here starting next week on the 16th. All right, let's jump here into the NHL. Starting off with Mac, your New York Rangers secured a Game 1 win over the Hurricanes by a score of 4-3. Hurricanes came into the game as a -120 favorite in New York. Game 2 was taken by the Rangers in double overtime by a score of 4-3. New York leads the series 2-0 as the series shifts back to Carolina for Game 3. We keep saying these home games are super important. What are you thinking here as we approach Game 3 in Carolina?
Correction, I was looking at the wrong event. Scotty's the favorite at plus 410.
But getting into the Rangers, yeah, incredible series so far. 2 really good games. Obviously, the last game went to double overtime. Shesterkin had 54 saves, stood on his head. And then Huff, I know you don't mean any disrespect by it, and you say like the series doesn't start until an away team wins. But goddamn, dude, we're up 2-0 in a hard fought series, and we're 2 wins away from winning this series. And I know we did our job, but I mean, Canes are on their heels now. Like
Just gotta
you
steal
have to.
one.
You have to go 2-0 now at home. If you don't, the series is basically over at that point. So I mean, the Rangers are playing really good hockey, and you know what they did all year, 55 wins in the season. They found ways to get the job done. They keep finding ways to win hockey games. They did it in the first series. I know they obviously should have swept every game. They should have swept their series, but they were all pretty good games. They just found ways to get the job done. These 2 really good hockey games where the Canes might have even outplayed us find ways to get the job done. Shesterkin standing on his head. Trocheck, 5 straight games with a goal in the playoffs. I think it's a streak for the Rangers. These guys are just stepping up, and they're playing really good hockey, and they're finally being respected on the odds. I think they're plus 425 to win the cup now. But I mean, dude, this team, I mean, it's just they're just different from years before. I really think that we have a good chance this year.
No, Mac, you guys handling business. I was talking with my buddies last night when you guys were down. That was a crazy game, honestly. A lot of people are going to remember it for the overtime and Igor's heroics. But think about how the complexity of that game developed. It was 1-0 Rangers, right? And then it was 3-1 Canes. And then you guys claw your way back, right?
No, it was 1-0, then 2-1 Canes, then
Yep.
2-2, 3-2, 3-3, and then we won.
But still, to be able that's a crazy game in its own right. The fact that you guys were able to come back in that one, I thought you guys were dead to rights. Get into overtime, got to figure they get it done at home with the better goaltender, evident on that game-winning goal. But what a massive win! Imagine you were 1-1 heading to Carolina. The vibes would be kind of off for New York, but going there 2-0, having that series, dominating at home, and you're right, putting some fear into a great team. A great lineup that isn't used to it. I know it's going to be tough in Carolina, but if you're able to steal one there, that's a massive hold in the series. But yeah, jump in here.
Yeah, Huff, before you go real quick. Shit, what was I just gonna say? Huff, you can go. My bad.
Yeah, I did pick the Canes in 6 before this series. Obviously, that's not going to happen. If this series if Carolina wins this series, it's going to have to be. I still think 6 games if they're going to win it. I don't see them winning 4 straight. Not more the discount to them. It's just the Rangers aren't going to lose 4 straight, and especially when one of those games is a home game. I'd like the Rangers to even win Game 5. If, like I said, I truly could see this get back to New York. 2-2. That doesn't mean once I see the lines or anything. I think I saw Hurricanes are like a minus 170 some favorite on Game 3. What is that, tomorrow night,
Yeah,
Mackie?
every other day they play.
Yeah, so I don't know. I like Carolina to come back and defend their home ice. They'll have someone running the siren. I think Game 4 is the pivotal game. If the Rangers steal Game 4, honestly, like you said, either or. But I like Carolina to come out on top in Game 3. A little heavy for my liking to go ahead and take that straight, but Gensel almost gets the hat trick last night, couldn't complete it in overtime, gets the 2 goals. I mean, this Hurricanes team, like you said, they might be outplaying your Rangers. Your Rangers are finding a way. I think things shift once you get back on home ice. We know what Carolina does in the playoffs. You've said it time and time again. They lose their road games and they win their home games. That's why I said I just don't think this series starts till a home team loses a game. I have Carolina winning Game 3, so we'll see come Saturday. For Game 4, in my opinion.
Just this, Ace, you're muted.
Mackie, let me jump in here real quick.
Yeah.
How massive is this Game 3 for the New York Rangers?
I think you're looking at it the wrong way. I mean, I think it's all on the.
No, I know, but for success, if you guys take this game, that is massive for the New York Rangers.
The series is over. You're not losing 4 straight after that, but. Game 3, I mean, all of the pressure is on the Canes.
It's on the Canes, yeah.
Into the series, we were the President's Trophy winners. They were, minus 170 or minus 150 to win the series. I mean, this team, they were looked at. They got Gensel, and once they got Gensel, this team kind of turned up, and they figured it out. That top line with Aho, Svechnikov, and Gensel might actually be the best line in hockey, ahead of McKinnon's line and McDavid's line. They're just absolutely incredible. But when you look at it, Shesterkin is outplaying Freddie Anderson to a certain extent where it's like, how can you take this team to win game? Like, I don't understand how they're minus 170. Like you look at
The
the
home
Bruins.
ice advantage. The home ice advantage.
You look at the Bruins and the Panthers, and the Panthers, in my opinion, no offense, Ace, are a way better team than the Bruins. They are. They're built more for the playoffs, and they have more depth. But Swayman is the reason that they're playing that
Yeah.
they're in this situation, and you're looking at that series way different than you're looking at this Rangers series. And the Rangers have a better team. They match up better against the Canes. I don't know. I think that the way that this series is going, the way that the Rangers are playing, the way that they keep finding ways to win games, I can't see a scenario where we lose 4 out of the next 5 games.
Yeah, we'll get into the Bruins Panthers next. But talking about this series a bit more, you mentioned Gensel. He's had such a big impact. I don't know if you guys saw the post today. It was saying Mitch Marner, take notes from Jake Gensel. This is what an $11 million player is supposed to be doing in the playoffs. He's been a spark plug, really providing the most offense for their team. And the one thing the Carolina Hurricanes can hang their hat on is Huff's not wrong with this theory. You don't lose a series. You're not knocked out of a series till you lose at home. And yes, they would have loved that point, but they played good hockey at least. They put 3 goals in the first 60 against Igor Shesterkin. They can build on that going
First
into the
40.
next. Yeah, first 40. You're right. So it shows that they can play their game, and now when they go home in front of their fans, we know that home ice advantage they have. I think minus 170 is even a generous line for the Canes. I personally think the Canes should be able to dominate this game at home, which is crazy because I think the Rangers are the better team. I had the Canes in 7 originally. Still don't think it's dead. I'll have to see how these next 2 go. They're going to be very telling. But from what I've seen so far, the Rangers with their goaltending, Frederick Anderson, I don't think he's winning you a Stanley Cup. I don't even know if he's getting you to the ECF again.
But Ace, that was the thing before the series that you said they don't have a scrub and Kachekov in net like they did 2 years ago when the Rangers beat
But
them.
he's not.
They
He's
have
not.
their 8.
Yeah.
He's
He's good, but he's not Shesterkin, Swayman. Where does he rank in this 8 goalies left list? He's towards the bottom of it, right? And
Yeah,
it's
for
crazy.
sure.
It's crazy to me so far in both Eastern.
He's the worst goalie
Yeah,
left in the
the
East for
both
sure.
series in the Eastern Conference. We've been talking about how goaltending hasn't been as important. Well, Mackie, we're seeing it right in front of our eyes. Goaltending is very important in the NHL playoffs, and you can always count on that guy. But I think the Canes get back in the series with a Game 3 win, and I could see Game 4 going to overtime potentially because the next time we record it will be after that, and that's going to be the pivotal game is Game 4. I'm going to lock it in right now. I think the Canes win tomorrow night.
I'm just gonna say I think the Rangers steal one. I think
it's Game 4 though. I think it's Game 4. I think
could be for sure. I think the Canes can't go out and lose Game 3. I mean, series is over.
I don't
at
think
that
so
point.
either. Think about this
You
too.
can't-
Didn't they have close to the best odds to win the cup too? A lot of people are counting on
They
this
did.
Carolina
They-
Hurricanes.
They had the best
They
betting
had the
odds.
best odds.
It's crazy. So you got to think they get back in the series. Mackie, you taking that plus tomorrow though? I know you are.
I'm gonna take it. I mean, I've taken it every game, and they're
Yeah.
making me money right now. I can't just stop riding it because they're
If they go
They're,
3-0, it's
road.
over. If they go 3-0,
Yeah.
it's over.
and they're also 6-0 in the playoffs. They haven't lost yet. Why would
Mhm.
I stop riding that? But it's gonna
And
be a
I'm a
good
guy
game.
who bets on. I'm a guy who bets with the streak.
I will say
so
I was
I'm not
shocked.
touching that game. Great stat, Mackie. 6-0 in the playoffs to start off though. Way to be.
I will say I was shocked to see them as underdogs on their home ice in Game 1 or 2. They were not losing Game 1. I took them Game 1 and Game 2. But the plus 105 or minus 105, whatever they were, Game 1, I thought that was disrespectful. I thought the Rangers should have been like a minus 130
The
favorite there.
disrespect is
Um,
insane.
I don't know
get
if
it.
I'm
You're
going
on
to
your
touch this
home
series
ice.
though. I missed the best value on the Rangers. I think already this series.
Yeah, definitely.
Games 1 and 2, that was correct. The on home ice around minus 105 to plus 105. That was
That's
insane.
Craziness. Game.
For how many times we've seen Carolina do this in the playoffs where they lose
Exactly.
every road game and they win every home game too.
And now they have to win every home game though. They're usually that top seed. They're never the lower seed that goes down 0-2.
They're usually up 2-0 and then they're going on the road and then they let them even it up
Mhm.
and come back to Carolina for
Yeah,
game
last
5.
year they got swept, didn't they? But they were the higher.
That's in the
seed.
ECF though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
We don't
next
count
round.
the
That's when they
ECF.
always get
Carolina
swept.
Hurricanes ECF is auto. That's auto. But maybe the Rangers will hand it to them around early. I think the series isn't dead though. I'm telling you, it's going to be 2-1. By the time you catch us this weekend, so then what will Game 4 be? That'll be Saturday, Mackie.
Saturday.
Yeah. So by the time we talk to you next, I mean,
5
it'll be a
games
whole
will be
different
over.
look. Mackie, if you guys steal one though, it doesn't matter which one, and I think it's going to be 3. I'm telling you, I think it goes Canes Rangers. Sets a pivotal Game 5 at home for you, but we'll have to see how it unfolds. If they can steal tomorrow night's game, I mean, whew, wow.
Yeah, Canes will be in trouble. I said last night as that game was ending or in second overtime, I was like, winner of this game wins this series, in my opinion. And Hopefully, I'm right. I think.
Do you
if the Canes
think?
won
Do you
last
think if
year-
the Canes win either of these games at home, we're all in agreement that they win one of these home games at least? I know, Mac, you don't want to say that, but
No, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree 100%.
Do you think that the Canes pop off for one of their crazy 5 to 7 goal games? Because these big names have been kind of quiet. I know they put up 3 the other game, but that's a low total for the
That's
Carolina
like
Hurricanes.
That's like what they
I
need.
think
They need to get under Shesterkin to do
Shesterkin
that.
has-
Like if you do that, that'll rattle the whole Rangers team. They're so used to what's the most goals you guys let up against Washington last series?
Shesterkin
2?
has not given up more than 3 goals in a playoff game in 29 straight starts. It's the second best record of all time, behind the guy that's sitting on our bench, by the way.
But that's
Down at
the only
Clip.
way they're going to be able to win. I don't think that you guys will be shut down to 2 or
You
less.
can't expect them. You can't expect them to score 5-6 goals when this guy has literally not done it since probably the first round against the Penguins in 2022.
You know what's crazy though? In Game 3, it was just their recent additions that got on the score sheet. It was Gensel with a pair at the trade deadline. They brought in Orlov in free agency. Those were the only guys who scratched the score sheet. I know there's probably some apples somewhere, but you have to think
Who
guys like
didn't?
Svechnikov and Aho, Burns, the rest of these names that have been there for a while, Stahl maybe, Natchez, they're going to be able to get on the score sheet as well. It's crazy to me. I mean, you guys have the roster to match up with the goaltender, but you have to think at some point they crack through those superstars now.
Well, yeah,
I
definitely.
mean, you also here's also Mackie, my thing that I like to think is going to bounce back. I praise the Rangers penalty kill. I don't think Carolina would ever go 0 for 5 on a power play in a game.
No,
Ever.
they're
Leafs
0-9
did it,
in the
though, and they
series,
have a-
though. They were 0 for 4 in
That's what I
game
mean.
1. And last night, they had 2 power plays in overtime, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, something's got to give here. Like, they got to score
But
sooner or
Mackie,
later.
what is it? Every time, what
Rangers
is
are
it?
Mackie, once they
I've
got
been
Rangers
watching
penalty
it.
kill is just as good as their power play. Special teams wins us every single game.
But what is
And-
it, though? It's the goaltender.
But like, did you watch the game last night?
Only parts of it.
Yeah,
I didn't
Their
watch the
power
end.
play is not cooking. They're not ripping shots at Shesterkin. Our penalty kill
Is
is just
doing their
all
thing.
over them. They iced the puck 4 times the power play. It's just the special teams is just absolutely incredible.
Am I seeing this right? You guys had 7 power plays last night.
Yeah, but 3 of them were like 30-second power plays and it was 4 on 4 a lot. We had like 2 or 3 or 4 like full 2-minute power plays. And we scored 2 goals.
They gotta stay the fuck
Hey,
out of the
Rangers-
box.
we didn't
Jesus
even
Christ.
mention this though. How chippy the series is getting. We saw the Trouba flying elbow
Awesome.
going
Awesome,
into
dude.
the Canes. Tony
These
D'Angelo telling K. Andre Miller he's gonna kick his ass anytime any
course,
plays.
Andre Miller is telling that too also. But dude, these teams hate each other, but it's obviously mutual respect, but they fucking hate each other. And Svechnikov and Igor are going at it. I don't know if you saw that play last night where he kind of lit him
He
up.
ran
but,
him?
He didn't even really run him. I was saying like he clipped
But he
him.
didn't hold up.
No, it went 2 minutes. They were looking at it for 5. But I mean, these teams have a mutual like respect for each other, but they fucking hate each other. I love it though.
Yeah, a lot to unfold in the series, and we're kind of going to get into our next one here. But I feel like this Rangers, Hurricanes, Bruins, Panthers type series, they've just boiled over because the teams have been so good recently. It's not really a true rivalry like Rangers, Isles, or Bruins, Leafs, but it's come to something because they're both expecting so much.
Exactly. But yeah, let's get into this this other Eastern Conference Finals or other series.
Yeah, let's move into this other series here in the East. The Boston Bruins jump out to a 1-0 series lead, taking Game 1 in Sunrise, Florida, over the Florida Panthers. Matt Tkachuk scored the game's first goal, but after that, it was all Boston, scoring 5 straight to secure a 5-1 Game 1 win. Game 2 is Wednesday night here tonight in Sunrise, Florida. What are we thinking here for this game and the rest of this series, Ace?
Yeah, we've got a lot to unpack here. I know the last time I wasn't here last week, we didn't have a Game 7 yet. Last time you heard of us, me and Huff were on the podcast recapping Game 7. But let me just throw the Bruins some flowers. Classic Leaves right there. Getting kicked out in Game 7. David Pastrnak, game winner on the stretch pass from Hampus Lindholm after getting called out by Jim Montgomery. That was electric. Most watched game in NHL playoff history for round 1. I mean, that's just vintage. How do you not see that coming? That's what happens in the playoffs. The Leafs
gotta
fall
be-
in April and May.
It's got to be to the point where like you weren't even really worried, dude. Like this
No,
is so like
I
this
told
happens
you the whole
so
time.
much.
Bruins
This
in
happens
7.
so much, and it's just like it's clockwork. Like the Leafs
Yeah.
are gonna blow it, the Bruins are gonna beat them in 7, and it is what it is.
I will tell you what, though, when we went down 1-0, Huff and I were talking about this, we were shell-shocked. But luckily, it only lasted for 50 seconds before Hampus Lindholm put it home. But that was crazy. It looked like we weren't going to be able to get anything through. The offense was stymied. The 3-1 woes. We got that monkey off our back. We beat the 3-1 allegations. The Leafs are the choking team in NHL history, and they're going to always stay that way. Sheldon Keefe on your way out. Everybody wanted to prey on the Bruins' downfall so hard. And shout out to Jim Montgomery, because I personally didn't even check social media or reply too much or even give into the 3-1 talk too much. He took the team in Boston. They had just got home from Toronto. There's a game 1 on Monday if you win this series. He said, no, you're not staying at home for the few time you can because we got to go to Sunrise if we win. We're going to a hotel the night before. Had them stay there, block out all the noise, come and do their job. Best player stepped up. So it was great to see that. Had to shout that out real quick. But electric series all around. Jumping into this game 1 game, though, it's kind of going back to what Mackie was talking about. It's the depth scoring, the depth the Bruins have. Yeah, it may not be as talented as the Rangers on paper. They have skilled guys on that third line, but Justin Brazeau scoring, Mason Lohrei, the 23-year-old rookie, jumping onto the scene, sniping Bobrovsky to give us the 2-1 lead. Playing big minutes. Did it in the first series, too. I told Mackie about him. First Louisiana-born player to score in the playoffs. I told him, this guy's getting called up. I'm hyped. He's big, left-handed player, skilled. Comes in, snipes one. Brazeau, same thing, coming off the injured list, producing. He came out of the ECHL. He wasn't supposed to be anything. The two guys just making their names this year, but Jeremy Swayman is the showstopper. I mean, that guy's been lights out, posted a 950-plus save percentage. How can you not do that? Panthers, a long time off. Bruins have been rolling. It's kind of what the Panthers did last year on their way to the Cup. I know you're tired, you're stressing, but the Bruins have been using depth. There's been guys coming in and out of the lineup. The depth has been doing it. Goaltenders standing strong, and they're just continuously playing good hockey. So that's why I like them. Panthers are cold. Backs against the wall. Bruins now 5-0 against the Panthers on the year. I'm going to bet like Mackie here tonight. I'm going to take them plus 150. Hopefully they cover it by the time you listen to this. I'm going to take them again tonight because we're going to try and go for 6-0 on the year tonight. I like the Bruins to get it done here. But let me know what you guys think about this matchup. Two great teams, and I know it's going to go a little bit further than before.
I think of this the same way I think of that Carolina series. Just obviously, a home team has already lost here. I don't see Boston winning two in a row on the road in Florida. I think that stadium is going to be rocking tonight. This is a must-win game for Florida. You guys already flipped the home ice back to Boston. Going back there for games 3 and 4 are going to be vital. Even with a 1-1 series lead, the Florida's definitely got their backs against the wall. I think obviously not many people expected them, other than you and the Boston Bruins faithful, to go in there and lose that game 1. That we've been talking about. You talk about the depth with the Bruins and the Rangers. You look at the paper or on paper for the Florida Panthers, we could go through a whole list of names that they have. No one really showed up in game 1. They were buzzing to start that first period. Bruins were blocking shots. Swayman stood tall. Obviously only lets up the one that Tkachuk. I like Florida to even up the series tonight. -1.5 is tough. The -165 is a little steep on the money line for me. I think Florida gets the job done. I don't know which way I'd take it, but I like Florida to handle business tonight. I think they jump out to a quick lead to start the game. I think it will be a lower scoring game. I like that under 5.5, and it's so scary with these two offenses. But Swayman in net, only letting up one last game. Bobrovsky in the other net. I think this will be an under 5.5 game. I like the under, and I like Florida to come out on top. Maybe a little 2-2 overtime. Verhaeghe gets in an overtime. He seems like he scores every overtime goal for Florida. I like the Panthers tonight.
Yeah, I think the Panthers win tonight too, just because it's gonna be really hard to win 2 on the road to start a series. But I mean, this Bruins team, they match up so well against this Panthers team. You watch them play each other, and it's like I think the Panthers really struggle with this Bruins team. And when you have a goalie like Swayman who's playing the way he's playing right now, you can't be confident betting against them. I don't care what scenario you're in. Bobrovsky didn't look like Bobrovsky in that last game. The Bruins are lighting him up from the third and fourth liners. You didn't see a goal from Marchand. You didn't see a goal from Pasternak. You saw goals from who I couldn't even tell you. Beecher,
Justin Brazeau. He came out of the ECHL this year.
What is going on? These guys are stepping up. This Bruins
Mason
team,
Lohrei, I told you.
I think it comes down to matchups, and I think this Bruins team matches up really well against this Panthers team, or the Panthers just struggle against them. I don't know what it is, but I think the Bruins win this series. I really do. And you know what? Game 82, Bruins gave them home ice. Well, they just took it right back, and now they control their own destiny on their home ice. So I'm gonna go Bruins in. I'll say Bruins in 6. I think they really get the job done here. I mean, they're matching up well against them. They're playing really good hockey.
And Mackie, I think you can respect
bet
it
against them.
You can probably respect it as a goaltender yourself. It's crazy the confidence Swayman's playing with too. He's laughing between whistles, bobbing to the music. He's one of the most animated goaltenders I've ever seen. He's playing the most locked in hockey out of anybody in the NHL playoffs. Playing similar to, he's putting up better than Tim Thomas numbers the last time we won the cup. Um, it's crazy to see. And he's doing it on prime chances too, putting up 30 plus a night against really talented players. Austin Matthews, Matthew Tkachuk. I know one thing that's going to be important for the series, though, for the Panthers to get back into it is Sam Bennett. I don't know if he's back in the lineup tonight. I forgot to see the update on that. But if he can get back in, I know they miss him. He's a force to be reckoned with. Bruins need some more guys to get back into the lineup too. Missing Heinen, missing Boquist, missing Peak on that back end. So if they can get healthy, that'll help out a lot. Pat Maroon really making a big difference, setting the tone, and especially against a team we saw last year, that 7-game series with the Panthers. He took over. But Mackie, let me jump. You can jump in right here.
Yeah, I think this scenario is kind of similar to the Rangers. You know, you have really hot goalies playing against really good teams, really good offenses. Um, I think if the Panthers can crack Swayman this game, maybe put up 5 in a game or something, then maybe you're looking at a different conversation. But until that happens, I mean, same thing with Igor. I mean, if you can crack him from 5 goals in a game, maybe fuck with his confidence. Huff, you saw it in 2022. He got pulled twice in that series, I think. I know he still had the.
I also that whole series also, I feel like you guys were either beating us 6-2 or we were beating you 7-6. Like it was such high scoring
I
games
feel like
every
all
year.
the games we won were like
I don't-
close. Like every game we won, you guys beat us like 5-1, 6.
Really? I don't
But
even remember.
I mean, game 5, I think it was, or game 6, it was the shitty dumping goal.
All I can remember is that fucking dickhead Panarin in overtime.
Yeah, that was great. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna come down to the goaltending, and if you can crack Swayman or you can crack Igor, we were talking about different scenarios here. But until that happens, you know, you got to ride these hot goalies. You can't be betting against them when you just a 9.5 save percentage. It's just absolutely absurd through 7 games.
Yeah, it's just crazy to see what's going on here. This Bruins Panther series, I don't know though. This Panthers team is so loaded top to bottom. They brought in all this talent. I said it to Huff though. If you remember on Sunday, Huff, we were talking about the Panthers. I remember when Sergei Bobrovsky was benched for Alex Lyon when he was cold going into the playoffs last year. He's not the Bob that he once was. He's still a good goaltender, but like Frederick Anderson, their best days are behind them, and they're towards the bottom of that 8 goalies left in the playoffs right now of who's still alive. I think we're gonna.
I don't know. He did it last round against
You look
Tampa.
on the West, and you're taking both of them over 3 out of 4 of those goalies.
Yeah, but he's not in. So he's what, in the middle of the pack at best.
Yeah. But I mean, the East is a gauntlet of goalies, dude. They're like, I mean, over on the West, you're only looking at Ottinger. You're taking him over Gorgiev. You're taking him over Skinner. You're taking him over Salavs, who's in net right now.
If it's Demko though, if Demko comes back, I'll take
I don't
Demko.
know. I mean, you talk about the experience here. I'd probably take I mean, you saw Hellebuck.
I think
just won a
Bob's just
Vezina and got
past his
lit up.
prime though, but we'll see. Maybe I'll have to bite my tongue, especially tonight at home. But don't you remember that literally a calendar year ago, he was the backup going into the playoffs to Alex Lyon.
Yeah, and then he went on a crazy playoff run because he dropped his cock and showed it.
Was
showed
it
you
more
what
of
he
the
could do.
team though? Too? It was the team
No,
too.
it was him, dude. They were an 8 seed. I mean, don't get me wrong. That team was sick, and they
Team was good.
went on a crazy run too. But Bobrovsky definitely did his thing.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to see though. A lot of good clips coming out of these Bruins games already though. Maroon, I'm telling you, I hated him before he came. Rose a cup in the Garden as an
Still
opponent.
hate him.
But I love him on my team. It's so great to see him out there just body, and nobody can do anything when he's around. Ryan Reeves, see ya. Leafs fell. Panthers, it's your turn. Revenge series for the Bruins here. Jeremy Swayman, literally him. Wish I had my Brad Marchand jersey. Got the authentic Adidas one. 2 change on that one. Got that coming in next pod. Maybe I'll have to rip it for the boys. But Bruins, big one tonight. Got to get going. Big series here.
Alrighty, moving over to the West here. Edmonton Oilers, Vancouver Canucks game 1 will be tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. By the time you're listening to this, the game will be over. But who do we like to jump out to a 1-0 series lead in game 1 and Vancouver, as well as game 2 going through this series here? Ace, what do you think?
Oilers in game 1, and it's because of who's in that. Mackie alluded to it earlier. If they had Thatcher Demko, this would be a crazy, crazy series. But I think the Nashville Predators weren't strong enough to get chances against the Canucks. Now Elias Pettersson's out with a sickness, and you have the most talented players in the league going up against a third-string goaltender. Give me McDavid, Draisaitl to get the job done here. I have him going to the Cup in my bracket, but I think this series goes 5 or 6, and it's because of the goaltenders. If Demko can come back, maybe the Canucks have life. But without him, I think it's going to be a gong show for the Edmonton Oilers this round.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I get the hype on the Oilers, obviously, with the star power they have up front, and Skinner's been playing all right as well. But I mean, how can you put this? They're plus 425 to win it all when they've never even been to the Stanley Cup. This core. I mean, how can you make this? How can you give this team the same respect as the President's Trophy winners who are up 2-0 on the Carolina Hurricanes and the Avalanche who are averaging 5 goals a game in the playoffs? It's just I think that they're getting way too much respect. You're gonna see them blow it.
Easiest road.
I promise you, they're not going to get to the cup. There's no way. This
But
team
are
is
they
not
winning this round?
I can't give you I can't say yes. I can't.
I can. I think
In
the Oilers win
5.
the series in 5
Canucks
games.
Canucks won the season series 4-0. And I know you might
Mackie,
not say
this
that,
is
but
somebody's brother
doing?
from like Russia playing goaltender for the Vancouver Canucks. He's not stopping the boys from
he's in
Edmonton.
the NHL, bro. Like, even so, I mean, maybe he's not going to play lights out every game. But I mean, you're going to get the chances on the other side. You act like the Vancouver Canucks didn't have 5 All-Stars this year. They get the points too.
All I can say is don't let Edmonton get on the power play with that kid in net.
I think you guys are buying into the hype of this Oilers team. I mean,
Mackie, it's a third string.
I bought it. I have them go to the Cup too. I truly think that they had the easiest path out of any playoff team to get there. They got Nashville in the first round. I picked Nashville just because I wanted to see them win. I had Edmonton moving on past them. I just don't. I said I thought Vancouver was going to slip up in the first round of the playoffs. I think they're going to do. If they got any other matchup, if they would have gotten Vegas, Dallas, any of those teams, they obviously were too good to have to worry about Dallas. They would have let you know what I mean. The records would have lined up that they got Vegas in the first round. Vegas is still alive going to Edmonton right now.
And then Edmonton's losing to Vegas this round. If Edmonton played anybody that came out of the other side,
that's what I'm saying. Is that like you think this team can run into the Avalanche or the Stars and get 4 wins out of it?
We're not talking about that.
I'm saying I'm not worried about it until the Avalanche.
Oh no, but I was talking about the plus 425 odds. Huff, you just said you had them in the Stanley Cup too.
Yeah, I do.
But you think this team could run into the Avalanche or the Stars right now and win 4 games?
Absolutely I mean, if you take 2 series under your belt with light games in 5, you can maybe steal one. You know.
I think you guys are crazy, but okay, yeah, they could. I think that they should win this series. I'm not going to say it's a given. They shouldn't be minus 250 to win the series.
Yes,
they have to play 4 games on the road.
There's no goaltender in the.
They're the same exact team.
They're a better version. They're a better version. They're a better version.
No, they're not. They're literally a worse version. If they just have 2 better players. They're literally a worse version of the Canucks. They just have 2 better players.
I don't know. I'm gonna stick with Edmonton here. I truly think that they don't have to, I don't think they'll worry about much this series. Obviously, last series against the Kings, they handled business in Game 1 in Edmonton. Obviously, it's a different series. I don't see a situation where Vancouver, if Vancouver wins this series, it's in 7, and it's on their home ice in Game 7.
Do you think without Thatcher Demko coming back, do the Vancouver Canucks have a chance in the series?
Did Slavs play bad against the Preds? Okay, I get it. It's the Preds.
The Preds are brutal. The Preds are brutal. They didn't even have the puck.
They're not brutal, dude. They're not brutal.
Yes, they are.
You're overlooking this like crazy, dude. I mean, Slavs has done nothing.
With Thatcher Demko, I might take the Canucks.
He's done nothing to the point where you should be like, this guy's a scrub just because he wasn't the starter over the second best.
He was behind Casey DeSmith. That's what makes me say it.
Okay, well, we'll see. We'll see how he plays against his team. I mean, obviously he's gonna give up his goals. You're playing against Draisaitl and McDavid.
But all right, let's go hypothetical then. If they have Thatcher Demko, what do you think the series is? I think it might be Edmonton 6 or 7.
Oh, I think it's Canucks in 6.
The thing is, Mac, you know what's crazy is I really bought into this Canucks team last round. I bought into it. But like we were saying all year, Huff's still on the mantra of this. The Vancouver Canucks are frauds. They haven't been to the playoffs before. They haven't done anything. You're gonna talk about past histories of teams. But
if
there was one good matchup for the Oilers, it's this Canucks team. Because who's more inexperienced than them? It's the Vancouver Canucks.
I wouldn't even call it inexperience for the Oilers. They've been there year after year. They just cannot get it done.
No, but it is though.
Talk about the Canes.
Quinn Hughes.
In the West
you think Quinn Hughes is a playoff performer though? He kind of got a little.
Quinn Hughes is a top 3 defenseman in the entire league.
I agree, but not in the playoffs.
He's a top 10 player in the league.
But no,
dude.
The rankings for defensemen shift for every position. Rankings shift come playoff time. It's a whole different game. I'd rather have Charlie McAvoy than Quinn Hughes right now. In the regular season, I'll take Quinn Hughes over Charlie McAvoy.
And you know it's biased. That's biased.
Just the gameplay the way that he plays. Did you not see Quinn Hughes get rattled and shut down by those Predators in some of those games? And that's a very weak team. Their game plan was to pressure him, hit him whenever he had the puck, and he couldn't handle it. They let a lot more go in the playoffs. I don't want the little guys. Cale Makar's the exception. He's a stud. bona fide stuff. We'll get to that when we get there. But besides that, I don't want these little defensemen leading the way. I want a big guy who's going to throw hits the whole series and be all around.
Fox is little. You're not taking him as number 2.
And Mackie, to
Fox
your
is
point
good.
about
He's big,
looking ahead, like you were saying, the Avalanche are just going to roll through everyone. I mean, my thing with the Oilers, they scored in the first round. Yeah, they got the LA Kings. You can look at however you guys want to look at Nashville for Vancouver's matchup. I also think LA was a layup for the Oilers.
Before you keep going, I don't think the Avalanche are going to roll through everyone. I think that's going to be a 7-game series right now.
Dallas
I also took
gonna win
Stars
it, too.
last
Okay.
night.
Is Dallas going to do the same?
They
We'll
scored
talk about that.
Oilers scored 22 goals in 5 games in round 1. I know that was against LA. However, we all feel about the Kings. I just think that this is going to be a high flying series. You could take the over in every single game in this series with these 2 goalies in net. You look at Silovs or whatever the fuck his name is, and Jeff or whatever his name is,
Stuart Skinner,
whatever the fuck. I don't even know his name.
Skinner.
He's decent. That's why I like the Oilers in this series. I think they get the job done. I just think that it's going to be a very offensive series, and give me the team with the 2 best players to get the job done. That's literally my logic on this series. I think they steal one in Vancouver, get home ice back to Edmonton, and then it's going to be a whole different series once that happens.
I'm gonna take it game by game. I'm gonna say the Canucks win tonight, but I'm not picking a series.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Canucks win tonight at home, but without Elias Pettersson, that's massive.
Elias Pettersson's done absolutely nothing these playoffs. He's been a ghost.
Still good to have though. It moves everybody up the ladder, you know.
I could truly see Edmonton win the night, Vancouver win game 2, Edmonton win 3 straight to win the series.
I don't think Edmonton defends home ice like that. They dropped game 2 against the Kings.
Mac, are you just discounting the Edmonton Oilers because of their past playoff performances?
That's your argument for the Canucks. Like that was.
They have no experience, but no, I think they're the same exact team on paper. The Oilers are just a better version of it.
I just think I'm really not even like. I am talking a lot of shit about the Oilers. I'm not even really trying to make it seem like that. I just think they're way too glorified for doing absolutely nothing.
It's just because of how easy their path is. If they didn't have a third string goalie,
I think it's McDavid and Draisaitl, and I think they've had McDavid and Draisaitl since 2018. They've done absolutely nothing.
You're going to think this is a crazy comparison, but people were looking at the Oilers' path to the Western Conference Finals like Ace is looking at the Celtics' path to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I think that is absolutely asinine. Yes, you're right.
They don't have a real series until the conference finals.
People there was a prop for the Celtics to not lose an entire game in the playoffs. Like that, I think people are looking at the Celtics like they were looking at the Warriors.
But Mackie, that's crazy. A third string goaltender that was behind Casey DeSmith has to defend the most prolific offense in the league, and they actually added some defense now. Stuart Skinner better than goaltending options they've had in the past, and he's a better version of himself too. I like the defensemen they've added on that back end too. They've actually stepped up. Bouchard, Ekholm.
They've had Bouchard. They've had Ekholm.
No, but they've had better years though. They've stepped up this year. I think that team's coming together a bit more. And you're right. If they, like we were saying before, if they ran into Vegas, they ran into Dallas, they ran into Colorado. I don't like them in this round. But they ran into the Vancouver Canucks. Easiest path. I think they get to at least the Western Conference Finals, and maybe if they're well rested with a good series here. Handling business, because that's what I think it is against this third string goaltender. Handling business, an experienced team. But if the Vancouver Canucks give them a run for their money, maybe I give them the respect. Great team, but I just think the inexperience of their no playoff pass for the young stars on their team will affect them here.
You two would know this. How does this work? Colorado into the seed. Does it more points gets home ice or higher seed?
Higher seed, but.
Because Edmonton was a 2 seed in the Pacific, and Colorado was a 3.
That'll probably go points.
No, I think it'll be seed with the new standing because it's points.
Think?
Yeah, because points don't affect you on these sides. A 2 will be over a 3 for sure.
Because obviously, if they get Dallas, I'm counting Edmonton and winning. I'm just thinking about the West Conference Finals now. I'm not just saying
like
it's
if the
over.
Canes get the Panthers,
but I'm just saying
who's the home team?
Panthers.
But the Canes had more points. Like that's a good question.
Yeah, but
Panthers won their division. They're definitely home team.
You could say the same thing about 2-3. Like,
it's just that's why the playoff format now sucks. It gives you rivalries and it creates rivalries. It's for TV because think about it. We said it before though. This Panthers Bruins, this Canes Rangers was never a rivalry, but now that you see it every year because you have to, it's become a rivalry and it's must-watch TV. That's the whole point of it. And it's not bad. Like, look at the first round. We got Bruins, Leafs, and Panthers, Bolts. I mean, they almost got Rangers and Islanders. That's what they're trying to do. But I agree with you. I love the 1-8 format. It was so electric.
That's a good question, Huff. I didn't know the answer to that.
I don't know who
I'm
would get
almost
home ice in
positive
Colorado.
that's
I
a
think
fact.
it's with this playoff format, it makes sense what Ace is saying, but I think that's absolutely insane.
It's stupid. Bring back
That
1 through 8.
definitely helps
Bring back
Edmonton.
1 through 8. Fuck. NFL is the only people who do it
This is gonna
nowadays.
This is
NFL
gonna
and
be a good
NBA.
series for sure. I'm not gonna overlook this series at all.
NBA fucking more teams make the playoffs than don't.
Participation
Alrighty,
award.
moving to this last series here in the NHL. Colorado completes the comeback after trailing 3-0 early in Game 1 to win by a score of 4-3 in overtime. Nate McKinnon scored the game-tying goal to start the third period, with Miles Wood netting the OT winner for the Avs. The Avalanche lead the series 1-0 with Game 2 in Dallas on Thursday. What do we see happening here?
Yeah, I mean, I just can't believe the Dallas Stars blew a 3-0 lead at home. But I guess I'm going to have to do what I did in the first series and not bet on it till the tail end, because they're going to drop 2 at home and then go win 2 on the road out of nowhere when everybody thinks they're dead, and they're going to come back and win it. But that's wild. I mean, Miles Wood, that's a great asset to have on your third line. Coming back from 3-0, this Dallas Stars team, why can't they win at home in these first 2 games?
Do they have an issue on home ice? 0-2 to start that Vegas
But
series.
they iced up at the end of the
obviously
Vegas.
they win game 5 and 7. Now they lose game 1 of this series. Like, do they have an issue at home?
Early
Do they
in the
not know how to start a
series, early in the
series?
series.
Are they not used to being the higher seed? What's going
I
on with this
really-
team? Because I'm losing
I
confidence
really
in
just
them.
think that home ice is not as important in the NHL as it is
Until
in
the
NBA.
tail end of the series.
Mackie, that's what me and you said last week. Remember
Of the
that?
series, though.
But you can, I mean, like yeah, exactly. Me and Huff are talking about this. You're in the NBA, you gotta be like face to face with these fans. Like, what's his face? Jalen Brunson threw the ball off this guy and then tripped up over the fan. Like, there's not that contact in the NHL. You can block these guys out there through the glass.
Referees, though.
I know the arena gets loud and everything, but I just don't think the same aspect is there. I don't.
I think the home calls, though, is pretty vital. Like the referee calls, especially late in the series, though. I think first 4 games, home ice doesn't matter. Games 5 through 7, it does.
Yeah, but that shouldn't be. I mean, it shouldn't come down to the refs. The only thing you get is last change.
No, but I'm saying, do you agree with that take? The first 4 games, the home ice doesn't matter regardless of anything. But 5 through 7, that's when it becomes important. Clinching scenarios.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
If
I
you
guess.
I bet if you asked 90% NHL players, they'd say like game 1, like you lose game 1. Obviously, they're all going to say, "Oh, it's not a big deal. The series isn't over." Like the game 2 is always the pivotal game in a series. Someone either can go up 2-0 or you even the series, and whoever's going back to
it's a new
get for
series.
games 3 and 4 with home ice with 2 straight, and it's a 1-1 series. Like Mackie, for example, if Carolina would have won that game 2 in overtime, you're looking at that series a hell of a
That's what I
lot
said,
different.
yeah.
Like you said to Ace,
I
you
said
know
I
what I
think we
mean?
lose that series if we lost last night.
Yeah.
But
I think game 2, like game 1's, I think both teams, like at least in the NBA, that's they're trying to feel each other out for the rest of the series. NHL, I do think it's kind of similar. Obviously, everyone plays kind of close to the vest. You don't see a lot of questionable decisions in game 1s. Your season's not on the line in a game 1. I just think that's Dallas's issue is they kind of play with their food a little too much. They were up 3-0. I think they thought that game was over. And when you're going up against a team with Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar that each bury in that game, to help you get that comeback. And once they tied that game, you knew Colorado was going to win.
Yeah, there's no way you're riding that momentum. Maybe it's just the Pete DeBoer fact, though. They want to get to the Game 7 because he's now, 8-0 in Game 7s. So
That's crazy.
they're just trying to press their way to a Game 7 no matter what it takes. But I think it's just more of a fact of starting slow. Maybe they just aren't playing competitive until their backs are against the wall. They need that aspect a little bit. They need to be talked down upon. They're not used to being that top dog in the Western Conference, especially against the Colorado Avalanche. They definitely didn't give it their all once they went up 3-0. But let's not forget to give our respect to Colorado Avalanche. Ever since that first loss in Game 1 of the playoffs, where they still put up a lot of goals in that game, they still played pretty well. Their goalie just played poorly, right? Maybe the team in front of them too.
Scored 6 in a
that's
loss.
What I'm saying. Like they still played pretty well. They had their strengths, but this is a good team. We talk about deep teams. Their fourth line might not be as good as, say, the Panthers, the Rangers, or the Carolina Hurricanes, but their top 3 lines can go. Their top end talent can go. I think they made the right moves at the deadline. I'm still not sold on the goaltender. And maybe if the Oilers get there, maybe it's a light road to get to the Western Conference Finals if they get out against the Stars. But coming into an Eastern series, I'd favor the Eastern team way more because of a guy like Georgiev, Gorgiev, whatever you say. But I don't think the series is over for the Stars. I think they can go down 2-0 again and then turn around and make it a series. So
I don't think they'll do that. Colorado is such a harder place to play than Vegas. I don't know if the average person would agree with that. Everyone obviously,
Vegas home
you
ice.
see all the antics. Yeah, the Vegas stuff. Like we talked about earlier, I think most of us said that Vegas is one of the core arenas, and obviously the out of the arena stuff. But in the playoffs, you're not worried about that. These guys are locked up in hotel rooms, focused on these games. I think Colorado, if they somehow get out to a 2-0 series lead, this will be going back to Dallas for Game 5. They'll be up 3-1.
yeah,
I mean, it's also the elevation aspect. It's literally like a game changer. Guys, like you cannot play the same way. You got to be shorter. You gotta.
I truly think Colorado's just the better
But the
team in this
Star-
series.
I
I
have the
think if
Stars
Georgiev
going
can
to
hang on, I think this
I have the Stars going to
series.
Western Conference Finals, but this is a Stars team. That's the one thing I think that's going to help them. There's two things actually. I talked about that depth of the Colorado Avalanche. Yeah, their top end talent's good, but I think that literally bottom line, I'll take the Stars over that. They have more depth 1 through 4 on their lines. Also, Ottinger's got to step up. He didn't start well last series, and then he ended up stepping up again. So,
Who's the best two players in this series?
Makar and McKinnon.
Makar and McKinnon. It's not.
Okay.
That's not a
That's-
question.
I
You want
just-
to ask who the third is? That you can raise them.
Robertson.
Otter.
Say Robertson. You can also even say Rantanen, dude.
Is it Otter at his peak though? Like he has to be.
I'd say
Otter has to be.
that's where I was getting. I have Rantanen in the top 5. Best
Otter
people in
has
the
to.
series. I'd probably go Robertson, then Ottinger, and then Rantanen.
Brandon's better than Robertson.
Nichushkin, though, has been a horse. He's scoring left and right.
6 or 7 straight.
But
he
there's a
scored.
lot of guys that can step up for the Stars team. You mentioned their big time names. Wyatt Johnson carried them last round, the rookie that's been on fire. They also
He had a
have,
goal yesterday.
For
but
the
they
first
also have
two
Rupe
yesterday.
Hintz, Joe Pavelski, Jamie Benn, Tyler Seguin. Like there's a lot of good players surrounding them.
Yeah, definitely.
Is it just me or is Sagan?
He's
No,
not. He's a third
he's
liner.
definitely He's out of his years for sure. But I mean, he's still an impactful player, and he's going to get the job.
He's
done.
like
not
Zach
gonna mess up.
Parise on the
He's
third
not going
line.
to go out there. He's not going to go out there and be a liability. He's going to go out there and get the.
We
get
have
his job
we
done.
have a lot
Yeah.
of we have a lot of veterans out there. There's Ryan Suter, Tyler Seguin, Joe Pa, Zach Parise. There's a lot of guys that are looking for rings out there. You know, important series for it. What do you guys got series predictions here though? This is a tough one. I don't know. Huff, you said potentially 5 for the Avs at best.
I just think they have. I just think they're not only the better team. I just think that their play style. Obviously, you come back from a 3-0 lead. You can't dig yourself a 3-0 hole. But in Dallas, you come back from that deficit. This Avalanche team is riding so high. They, like you said, they have the best 2 players in this series. Makar and McKinnon were the difference in Game 1. I just think it carries on. I could see them win Game 2 in Dallas.
I got the
could.
Stars in 7 still.
I'm going to go Avs in 6. I think Dallas wins tomorrow, and
It's
I
a
think that they
series.
split back in the Avalanche, and then I think that Avs just take Game 5 and Game 6. I mean, I think Dallas is going to struggle to stay.
But you think this, Mac? You
If it
think the
goes-
series has life still though? It's going 6 or 7 at least. you
Oh,
think?
1,000%. I'm not. You can't count out the Stars.
Well, I
team
can
ever.
see
mean,
Huff's
it's gonna be
what
an
Huff's
interesting
take there.
series.
If the Avs get on a run, if the Colorado Avalanche get on a run, could they run the table and take it in 4 or 5? We'll see. I
Yeah,
think Ottinger's
easy,
better. I think
definitely.
Ottinger's good enough, and the Stars have good enough depth to be able to withstand that.
If it goes 6, I think it would be they lose Game 2, win both at home, lose Game 5, win
Yeah,
Game
I don't
6.
know. I'm just not.
Pivotal Game 2
I
here in
mean-
Dallas.
I mean, if they win both at home, they're going to win in 5.
I truly think they'll go up 2-0. I think they'll go back to Colorado, drop 1, and then win the next 2.
I think if they go up 3-1, it's over in 5.
They just
There's no
can't
way.
stop scoring. They started going the first half of the game. They stopped scoring. You got to keep peppering Georgia. Got to keep that offense rolling. Get that depth scoring. You have the people to do it. Get it done, Dallas. Come on, make it a series.
Lots of good stuff there, boys, as we head through the second round here of the NHL playoffs. Next up here, though, the NHL 2024 draft is heading to Vegas to get its turn at the Sphere. The NHL said the NHL is proud to bring the first sports event and the first live television broadcast from the Sphere. And with that, the San Jose Sharks have received the first pick from the draft lottery here this year. What are you guys thinking here for the draft? As we approach that, what is the date on that? I can't remember exactly.
I don't know. I saw that today, and my first instinct was they beat the NBA to it.
June.
Or not the NBA. I feel like that's something the NFL was going to do.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it was a big enough venue.
So that's what
Definitely
they're
not a big
doing
enough
is they're
venue.
doing more of an NFL type thing where everybody's back at their home base and they call in and they send like a rep.
That's-
for that
so-
pit.
So there's not. How many seats are in the Sphere?
Don't quote me, 16,000.
That
Yeah,
many?
it's very big.
That sounds
But
like
it's not the seating you think it is. It's like boom, boom, everything's on top of each other, and
Yeah,
and
it's
the
all
stage
stacked. It's like
is,
4 layers.
you know, the size of the room I'm in.
Yeah.
Like
That's
12 feet
crazy.
long.
Like, think about when you watch the NFL draft. Like, Jesse, if it's in Pittsburgh, it's not going to be in Heinz Field. Like, they're like when they do it in Detroit. They did it in Detroit this
It was
year.
Little Caesars.
They
or whatever.
find
Oh,
like
they did it outside.
They find like
right.
a park. They find like a park and just take
Right.
over. Like they'll build it in a parking
Yeah.
lot if they have to. The NFL, so many people travel for that draft that has to be outside.
So I think it's going to be like it's going to be
the NHL, on the other hand, not that many people travel to go to the NHL draft. It was in Pittsburgh before, and I
right.
didn't.
The way I think the Sphere would work for an event like this is it's going to be a very small stage and it's very graphical. It's not going to be an easy thing to capture on television, but it's going to be a very interesting experience because it's going to be
Yeah.
mostly they
Yeah.
want people like us there. They don't
Yeah.
want the teams there. You know what I mean? So all the teams are going to be
Yeah.
at home, and they send a representative. And I don't know what the
Speaking of the draft, let's have this
all right,
little
go for it.
conversation here. Say you're a top 10 projected pick in any draft. I don't care, NHL, NBA, NFL, MLB, whatever one you want to look at. Would you go to the draft? Two questions. You're a top 10 pick. Are you going to the draft, or are you throwing a draft party at home and like when they cut to the Zoom and like they're putting the hat on, like their third uncle's giving them the Eagles hat because they just got drafted by the Eagles? Or if you're like a fringe first rounder, like you're projected like 28th overall, are you going or are you
If I'm
staying
a
home?
top pick, I'm going to the draft. If I'm a late
Yeah,
pick,
you're
I'm staying home.
You're walking up on stage. But I agree.
If I'm-
Ace.
The latter, I'm throwing the
Yeah, me
party
too.
every time. But also, it's not like, dude, you get everyone over your house on a Thursday night. This example is truly just NFL. You get everyone over your house on a Thursday night, first round of the draft. You're projected to go 28th overall. You could very easily slip out of that first draft night, and you're like, all right, I guess everyone come back tomorrow for the same thing. Like, it's a tough look. I've been thinking about that. I'm like, good thing I won't ever
Yeah, I
have to
never
worry
even
about
thought
that.
about that. That's crazy.
Like, imagine you have 400 people over your house or whatever, and you don't even get drafted in the first round. Like, you go 30,
though.
you go 33rd overall. You're the first pick of the
I
second
actually
round.
wouldn't throw a party at all. I'd just go to the damn draft. I don't need to throw a party. Like, man.
I would. That'd be so. I like the videos, like Baker Mayfield getting drafted, and he has like
The Peyton
400
Manning
people in his
picture.
house. That's sick. Yeah.
Electric. But yeah, no, the NHL draft, yeah, crazy the odds that came out yesterday. It's San Jose Sharks, Macklin Sabrini, RIP.
RIP is right.
Would have liked to have seen him to go to Chicago. I know everybody hates that Chicago gets the picks, but I would like to see Chicago be good again. They're sick. Come on. Give me Macklin Celebrini and Connor Bedard, but he's going to San Jose to go play with, I don't even know who's out there nowadays. But yeah, let's see. Chicago getting the second pick, though, get some more talent to load around Bedard. That'll be exciting to see. But yeah, Hoff, I think your team picking near the tail end of the draft, right? Pens.
What for what? San Jose got our
Oh, you
14th
traded
overall
it.
pick for Carlson.
Interesting.
Ask me how I feel about that. I was watching that draft lottery, and they go Pittsburgh, and then it just switches to San Jose. I was like, fucking
Yeah,
Eric
I
Carlson,
told you.
dude.
Remember when Addison said Eric Carlson better than Charlie
He's
McAvoy?
the best
Yeah,
defenseman.
come on.
Maybe at that time he probably was. He did have a 100-point season
Yeah,
last
but
year.
like you know,
He's like a winger
yeah,
that plays
that's what I'm
defense.
saying. He's not Cale Makar.
No, he truly is a defenseman that doesn't
Mhm.
play defense.
Not a playoff player. If you guys got in, that would be. I mean, I would have liked to have seen that. Too bad. Maybe we're giving the Rangers a loss in the playoffs this year.
Alrighty, let's jump into these power rankings here in the NHL. Coming in at number 5, Aces Boston Bruins. Number 4, the Carolina Hurricanes. Number 3, the Colorado Avalanche. Number 2, the Florida Panthers. And number 1, the New York Rangers to round out the list here for this week. What are we thinking as we gear through these playoffs here in the NHL?
The Eastern Conference is a gauntlet. That's all this says. But yeah, I mean, obviously these would be switched around if we did them 2-3 days later. But I mean, can't really complain about where anyone is. Maybe the Panthers being at 2 after dropping game 1, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean they're pretty accurate rankings, but like Mackie said, Bruins Panthers, that series is going to be telling. Carolina Hurricanes, Rangers now they're down 2-0. Do we drop them down? You know, a lot of things to be said. Edmonton Oilers. Can't believe Mackey had him in his top 5, but doesn't think they're getting past the third string goalie up there in Vancouver.
Because what they've done. I also didn't like I said, I wasn't trying to disrespect them, but like they're just getting way too much love.
No, yeah, for sure. But valid rankings. But we'll see. Going into the next round, maybe we'll just get the ranking of the teams that are left.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say about that. We kind of talked about all these teams. What is crazy is 2 of these teams aren't making it to the next round.
Alrighty, let's get into the NBA here. The first series we're hitting is the Minnesota Timberwolves jump out to a 2-0 series lead over the defending champion Denver Nuggets. Anthony Edwards goes for 43 points, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists in the T-Wolves game 1 win. In game 2, without Rudy Gobert, Edwards and Towns each went for 27 points and a dominating game 2 win. The series shifts back to Minnesota for games 3 and 4. What do we think here, Timberwolves and and Nuggets?
The current favorite to win the Western Conference, Minnesota Timberwolves, minus 115 to win the fucking West is insane. You jump out to a 2-0 series lead against Denver. Obviously, if a lot of people, if you told them that, oh, Denver didn't play good, Jokic didn't play, the games were in Minnesota. No, Jokic played. Minnesota was without their defensive player of the year in game 2. They still go out and get a huge win. 5.5-point underdogs in both games. They win the games outright. Anthony Edwards, 43 points in game 1. Mackie, I'm seeing a lot of who's having a better playoff run. Ant, Brunson, I don't want to get into that with you because we're both going to take the guys that we root for. This team is fucking electric. The first time Denver's lost back-to-back playoff games at home since before Jokic was a Nugget. I truly think they have this team's number. I can't wait to see it if they're able to just win 1 in Minnesota. Just win 1. You do not need to go win both. I don't love their chances to go back to Denver and win another one and win 3 in Denver in the same series. But this game 3, you win this game 3, you can't blow. They're not going to blow a 3-0 lead. You let Denver come back into this 2-1, 2-2. Whenever you come back from Denver, or if they let it get to 2-2, I'm going to be worried. I like Minnesota. I picked them in 6. You saw me post the video out there. I have them winning the Western Conference at plus 750. I think they are going to get that done. I like this Wolves team. I don't know what they are tomorrow night or Friday. I think this game's not till Friday, so a little bit of rest there. Gobert joked about not playing in game 3 because of how good the team played without him in game 2, but I like this Wolves team to keep the fun going.
Gobert always saying the wrong thing, dude. It was COVID first, and now it's this shit. But Hoff, I'll give you your.
That one was funny. Did you see Cat sitting behind him?
I actually didn't even see
that. Gobert was sitting there on like a Zoom call. Whoever was interviewing him, he was like, "Yeah, well, he's obviously French or whatever, so he has his little accent." But he was like, "Yeah, I might not play in game 3 based on how the team played." And you just see Cat in the background. He's like looking at his phone. And he just goes,
"That's funny."
It was like he's like, "No, your ass is playing, dude. The kid's born. You're playing."
That's funny, but
Cat's like, "I don't want to deal with Jokic all fucking night."
I'll give you your damn flowers in this team. You called it before this playoffs even started, and they are absolutely rolling. They'll kick the most complete team ever. Don't want to argue on that Brunson Edwards thing because.
Yeah, let's just avoid it because we're both going to go.
I just think that the Timberwolves
are.
Did you see how
better than
that's just absolutely asinine to say.
But you said, who would you want? Give me Anthony Edwards every time. That guy's bona fide dog. I don't even like the Timberwolves.
And he's 22.
Simply not watching the Knicks then.
No, but you would take Anthony Edwards over Jalen Brunson.
In the long run, 1,000%. But right now, absolutely. Dude, watch a Knicks game. God damn, you're such a Celtics fan. It's out of control, dude. Watch a damn game. He's done 5 straight 40-point games. Like it's absolutely
insane. You guys would sell, and he's doing it.
He's doing it basically by himself.
Edwards in. You would literally pay whatever check he wants.
Yeah, but you're talking about a 22. You're talking about a 22-year-old phenom who has the highest ceiling. When you're talking about Jalen Brunson, who's already at his
peak.
I'm
just saying, you would take Anthony Edwards over Jalen Brunson, no?
Ace, that isn't the damn. That's not the argument here. Like, yeah, you're gonna take him at 22 years old. Right now, no, I want Jalen Brunson over Anthony Edwards 1,000%.
Wow. But I would.
Dude, this Timberwolves team all around is so good. You watch that game, swarming on defense. Jamal Murray was so frustrated; it's out of control. This might be the best defensive basketball team I've ever seen in my entire life.
Which place is Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards? Who takes a bigger hit, the T-Wolves or the
Knicks take a fucking massive. What are you talking about, dude?
Would you say what was the question?
Edwards and
Anthony Edwards does. If you switch the spots right now, who takes a bigger hit? Who actually takes a bigger hit? You can't.
The Knicks would have gotten out of the first round.
It's what I'm saying.
Anthony Edwards, Huff, Like,
No, dude. Like, no.
Wait, if Edwards
Yeah.
was on the Knicks,
Yes, if you switch them right now, who takes a bigger hit? Brunson takes 35 shots a game. Edwards is not that type of player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not degrading.
Has been
Edwards at
putting
all.
up 40 plus in these wins though.
Not every game. He put up 43 in game 1. He put up 25 last game. Brunson does not have 25-point games. He is his entire heart and soul of this team. That's the thing about this Timberwolves team is that they're so complete, dude. They don't have a weak spot. They have 7 players that can go out there at 20.
Though. All right, let's go back to the
look what I
Timberwolves
just said in
game.
the
That's what
group
I'm
chat.
talking. I'm talking about this Timberwolves team right now. This Timberwolves team is so damn good, and they were so overlooked because it's the regular season. But this is the most complete team I think I've ever seen. And they're going into Denver and winning 2 games on the road. Now they get to go home with 2-0 series lead over the best team we've seen in the last 2 years. It's just this Timberwolves. They surprised the fuck out of me.
I have the Nuggets on the money line tonight. Anybody else?
It's
Or not
Friday.
tonight, but
Yeah,
coming
it's
up.
not
I
tonight.
already locked it in. I locked it in yesterday.
No, you cannot. How can you bet against this team right now with the way that they're playing defense?
You think
It's
the
not even-
Denver Nuggets
Mackie,
are
look at
losing 3 in a row though?
Mackie,
They're
look at
over.
the picture I
They're
sent
like
you.
plus
You said about the
250. They're like plus
defense,
What's
250.
the line? Who's plus 250?
170
the series.
maybe. 170 to 250 in between that.
There's
Timberwolves are
no
minus
way.
4.5. Yeah, that for a good reason, dude. I mean, this team like they match up so well against Denver as well. Like
What's
they're
Let me see
playing.
what I
Jokic.
locked it in at because I got it last night. But you think the series is beat? You think the Timberwolves are definitely winning the
I think
series
it's
in
beat.
5 or 6?
I think it's beat for sure. I think that the way this team is playing, dude, they play Jokic so well, and when you don't have Jokic doing what he usually does, this Denver team doesn't
Twin
do
Towers.
much.
I'll tell
They
you
don't.
what though, this is a championship team. We've seen them win it all. They have a multiple time MVP. If anybody can make an in-series adjustment, I had the Nuggets at plus 178. I got them that last night. That was pretty crazy. I thought.
I just can't believe the disrespect at Brunson. Like you act like he's not putting up 40.
That's not
plus
what I'm
games
saying. I'm just saying I would take
every
Anthony
single
Edwards over
game.
Jalen Brunson. Anthony Edwards is pretty good.
If you flip them right now, the Knicks take a far bigger hit. A far bigger hit.
I don't know. Anthony Edwards
Like
is
it's not
pretty
even a
good.
question.
It's because Ant plays. Ant's so good because he has the 2 guys to go get every rebound.
Yeah, that.
That
Don't
helps.
get me wrong. Ant's a fucking dog as well, but I mean, he has like
No, they're very different
doesn't-
players.
he doesn't have the entire attention. He doesn't.
I just wanted to get you
Very
going, Mac.
different
Yeah, I think Anthony Edwards.
You got
is
me
sick,
going.
though.
You definitely got me
Put it
going.
this way, I'm buying Anthony Edwards jersey, probably Karl Anthony Towns jersey too, before I buy a Jalen Brunson one.
Yeah, because you're from Boston.
Uh.
I'm buying a Tyler Herro jersey before I put on a Jason Tatum
I've
jersey.
bought a Kobe and a Shaq jersey. I don't think it's basketball. Come on, I gotta rep whoever's. Doing well. I have a Steph Curry jersey too. I'll get whoever's doing well.
Let's get into this other. It seems like we're all Ace. You think the Nuggets?
think they can-
Do you think the Timberwolves win this series? The fact that you're even thinking about this much is
You think
crazy.
though? But this is like coming
Yeah,
into the
dude, what they
playoffs.
did to
I
them
know
in
they
Denver.
slapped them around bad.
I get that you're weary about it for sure. I mean, it's the Nuggets, it's Jokic, but
If there was one team, would you have more confidence in the who else? Even the Celtics, I think. If the Celtics went down 2-0, I have more confidence in the Nuggets than anybody to come back because of the roster they have.
clip that right there.
It's
Clip
what
that
they've done.
right there.
It's what they've done. It's what they've done.
No, you're right. You're right.
No,
You're
I think,
100%
yeah, he's
right. I mean, and it's Nikola Jokic. That's exactly what it is.
I know. I just think you're getting crazy value here. They got to win at least one, and there's going to be good value. I say hit it both games. You might get lucky with both.
That's smart. Yeah.
I can't see Minnesota lose
You-
2
yeah, but you see a sweep.
I think there's a better chance they sweep them than I don't know how to.
Then
word this.
Denver win
I'm-
both on the
you know,
road.
let me think about this.
Okay,
Yes.
I agree.
But
I
if they're
agree
at
for
plus,
sure.
I got them at plus 178. They're down to plus 160 now. You said, but if you're getting that price about the same both games, I mean, might as well slap it.
West Virginia baseball is on.
This would be how big of an upset would this be, especially if they beat them 4-0, 4-1? If it was 4-0, would it be reminiscent of like Blue Jackets Lightning or not that much?
Yes. Nah, okay, you can't say that. Actually.
This team's way better than that.
Timberwolves
Blue
are
Jays.
good.
You can't
They
even-
were good. They were just an 8 seed. Like they weren't.
No,
they weren't
Timberwolves
bad.
are good though.
Timberwolves team's a 3
They're good.
seed. Like
Yeah, okay, you can't really say that. But a 4-0 sweep here would be like absolutely ridiculous.
Defending champ.
everyone that was amazed that they swept the Suns they wouldn't even know what to do after they swept the Nuggets.
I didn't even realize they're no.
If they beat the Nuggets, I truly think they're going to be America's team. That's what scares me. Like most people are going to be rooting for them. Your 2 cities will never be America's team. Not
'cause
anything
they hate
against
'em.
you guys.
I don't know.
What
public
about
hates
OKC
New
though?
York, and the
I'm a
public
very
hates
big
Boston.
bandwagon
I
OKC
fucking
guy.
I hate OKC. I actually hate that team. They're good, but I hate them.
You can't
I-
hate them. I feel like
I
why?
like.
I hate them. I do.
Why they built their
What
team
kills
so
me
well.
is
They literally
I
just
want-
They're
built that.
corny, bro. They're a corny ass group. They're
Oh,
very
because
good
of
at
their
basketball.
commercials.
First of all, it's commercials and it's the post game interviews where they're all jumping and laughing like a bunch of little.
Because they're all like youngins. Like there's
If it
no one
was-
there to tell them they're stupid.
If that was Brunson and Randall walking down fucking whatever street, you'd
What'd
love
you
it.
say?
I said if that was Brunson and Julius Randall, you'd
Ugh.
love that commercial.
It didn't even annoy me until like dude. It's like every single commercial break you got to listen to these two idiots
terrible
sing. Like,
commercial too. Yeah.
it's just it was so repetitive. It got to the point where
This is what kills me is
Shai's also a free throw
you guys
merchant.
know
They're the most overlooked.
I like a lot of more
overlooked
teams
team
in the
in the
West.
NBA. Is
they're the most overlooked one seed
ever for sure. Ever.
It's because they're so young. Their core is I don't even know how old.
22, average
What's
22
SGA?
years old.
What's how old is SGA? Is he
25.
25? Chet
I wouldn't
23.
even say 23.
I think he's like 20.
21.
He's not 20.
He
He's
played
he was
1 year in
rookie.
college,
last
right?
year. He would have been a rookie last year.
I think he's
Who are
20.
we talking about?
Chet Holmgren.
Chet Holmgren. Look
He's
how old
20.
he is.
Jalen
I
Williams.
don't know.
is like
But my
20
point
is
is,
20
what
as
I was
well,
gonna
like,
say.
22.
What I was gonna. Yeah, that's what I thought. He's the same age as Edwards.
He just turned 22, like 7 days ago.
Oh, he's
Okay,
still young
yeah,
though.
Anthony Edwards turns 23 this year. What kills me is I'm obviously rooting for this Timberwolves team. I do like this Thunder team. I'd much rather see Minnesota win if we do get that series, but my other favorite player is Luka, so I'm rooting for Dallas in that series, but I think it's too much for them to handle. I think OKC.
Who do you think's a better matchup for the
Let's get into that
Timberwolves?
series. It's for them to lose or for them to win?
Obviously.
Thunder.
You'd rather see the Thunder as a Timberwolves fan.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't
Jet
know.
would get worked by those big guys.
I think
Yeah,
I think the Thunder are gonna wipe the series with the Mavs. I don't even think it's a chance.
I think Luka would cause more problems for that Timberwolves team.
Maybe, but I don't
And
think there's any
Kyrie.
way they get past the Thunder.
Mike Conley's going to guard Kyrie Irving.
Yeah, I just don't think that there's any way that the Mavs get past the Thunder though. I think that's a quick series.
I
wouldn't
agree.
overreact.
I think these both could be for. I think these both could be. I think OKC will win that
They're on a
series. in
5-game
6 games.
heater right now in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they're going to lose again. Game 2. I like Dallas to possibly even that thing up at home. Dallas is so good on their home court.
We'll see though, but their bigs aren't anything. Chet Holmgren has his way in that series.
Yeah.
And they're so deep. The Mavs are not.
I want to.
Mavs
I
are
want to
so
see
top
Thunder
heavy.
T-Wolves. That's what everyone wants to see.
Thunder T-Wolves. The young
Yeah,
gun.
that's
Watch
what
the
I
young
would say
guns
there.
go at it.
Yeah.
And then you got to listen to how we're going to hear it. We're going to see this for the next 10, 15 years. And then you're going to see one of them never get back there again.
I'll tell you what though, the Celtics are licking their chops, seeing that the Timberwolves are bullying the Nuggets right now.
I don't know about that.
No, they are for sure. That's like one of the kryptonites. You always see that everywhere. Is the Nuggets?
Also, why do the Timberwolves have 4 days off? Why?
Because it
What do you- I
started
don't
so
know.
early. The series
I
started
think-
so early.
I think they want Jamal Murray to come back.
Yeah, but the schedule was out before the.
I know, but that's what I'm just saying as a Timberwolves fan. He should be suspended. He threw a
Oh,
fucking
yeah,
towel.
okay,
around.
Get
fine.
the Anthony Edwards jersey or a T-shirt jersey for the next pod, or a big.
I would.
Ant
You'll
t-shirt,
never
or
see
a big
me. In an,
Anthony.
you'll never see me wear an NBA basketball
Get a big
jersey
Ant
ever. I'll get like
T-shirt. Get a
Timberwolves, like,
graphic
hoodie.
hoodie. Ant Edwards. There's probably some sick ones.
Yeah, there's
definitely have
one
some
that
sick-
says like poster child on it, and he's like dunking on someone. It's actually really sick.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Is it the
I'll
John
get one
Collins
next
dunk?
pod.
No,
Got to
no.
see you in the Ant gear.
I'd get the fresh, like old school, like the white jerseys that they wear. I don't like that they've been wearing these new ones. I like those old school ones that they always wear.
Alrighty, you guys took care of the West there. Let's jump over to the East here. The New York Knicks secure a Game 1 victory over the Pacers at Madison Square Garden on Monday night. Knicks get 43 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists from Jalen Brunson in Game 1 to secure the win. Game 2 at Madison Square Garden here tonight. What are we thinking for the rest of this series?
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'm
True
not-
serum. Boom! I just hit you with true serum. How many games do they?
I'm gonna be realistic here. I don't know because the Pacers played a near perfect game last game, and the Knicks still found out a way to get it done. I'm gonna say 5. I am gonna say 5. Ace is saying 6. I think that's I think that's
6 too.
possible for
I think
sure,
so.
but I don't think that.
You saw him slip up in a couple games against the Sixers. Obviously, I think the Sixers is a different problem than the Pacers present. I just think that track team of the Pacers, their ability to get
Put
up
a
and down the floor.
They're-
I think there will be a night that things aren't falling for the Knicks. I think you're not gonna like this. I think it could be tonight. I think the Pacers could even this thing up, but I that doesn't
I
mean
was
the
looking
Knicks
at the
can't go on the
Pacers
road
money
and
line,
win.
didn't take it.
I like the Knicks to win this series in 6. I just think I think it's going to be 2-2 going back to New York for Game 5.
And then you think the Knicks go.
I don't know
could
how
see-
it's going to
I
come.
could see
It's been
2-1.
so
I don't know. I looked at that money
Yeah.
line tonight, but I don't know. The Knicks.
Basically, what you said about the Avalanche Stars series, I think it's going to be
One
the
thing
exact
that's
same way.
screwing us with this series is that Anunoby is our guy to cover Siakam, and Siakam knows exactly how
They
to
played
beat him.
together.
They played together. They played together
Yeah,
in
he's like,
Toronto.
oh yeah, we won
Yeah,
a ring
they
together.
know he knows exactly how to beat him, and it's frustrating Anunoby. So that we don't really have an answer for Siakam. Halliburton shot the ball 6 times last game. He had 6 points and 2 assists. What is the praise on this guy? I don't get it. He's scared to shoot the ball. He's turning the ball
Didn't
over
you
left
praise
and
him?
right. What? I might have praised him in the bubble,
No.
or not in the bubble, in the playing tournament.
Yeah,
It's
That's
Yeah.
literally but the fact that he still looked at it. I mean, dude, that was like 50 games ago.
Hmm.
The
He,
fact
like-
that he still looked
But
at
he
it,
also
fell off in the
forces
second
assists.
half.
Like he's like a
he's scared.
he's like a
He's
stat
scared
pattern,
to
like
shoot the
Russell
ball,
Westbrook,
and
but-
he's a liability to that team right now. He was literally a liability in game 1. He's the reason they lost that game.
But what if
They
he
have so
finds
many-
it?
He's not going to find it. He hasn't found it for the last 50 games. Look at his numbers.
No, I agree. I agree. But it's
the
the
season.
NBA. People can get streaky if he's truly a good player. Get a little streak going here in the playoffs.
Mackie, the
But
Knicks
they
are
need to
definitely
have
the
a
better
chance.
team in this
That's all they
series.
need to have a chance.
I don't see any scenario where they sweep.
I don't think
Absolutely.
they sweep
like
either.
Knicks
The Pacers are a good team. I
Pacers
don't want to
could win.
overlook that team.
That's
I mean,
what I
Miles
mean.
Turner's a 3-dimensional player. He shoots the 3-ball.
I was just
going
gonna
to
say, I think the difference. One of these nights is going to be Turner and Siakam are going to have a
And
night.
now, I mean, we had 2 big men. We had Mitchell Robinson and Hartenstein, and Robinson's out for the season now. So if Hartenstein gets in foul trouble, we could definitely find ourselves in a tough situation where we could definitely drop a game or 2 here. But
Wait, Mitchell
out
Robinson's
for
done for the
bro.
year.
You wanna know
He's
why?
always hurt.
Joel Embiid wants to grab at his ankle. That's why.
Wait, so he didn't play
He-
in game 1?
In game 1, no, he played
Pacers.
like very little minutes. He only played with Halliburton.
And then they rolled him out. They were like, yeah, this
he's
isn't going
he's
to work.
out there and he's struggling, dude. Like he's not playing.
Well, the way
down.
he plays too,
He's a-
he's like a rough
Exactly.
defender.
That's the way he plays, and he can't do it. And I guess they figured something out last game, and
Turner would be going at him every
That's what they did.
possession. Like the Pacers, they would just
the thing
target him
is,
if they
he
knew he was
is
hurt.
when he's fully healthy. I think he's our better big man. But I mean, you have
Yeah.
Hart.
I was just gonna say because he's not good enough as a guy to send out there at 70% or
No
60%.
way. No
you know
way.
what I
He
mean?
needs to be 100.
He's not Joel Embiid where you can maybe still get 30 points when he's at
I
60%.
mean, he's out there for one thing. It's to be a paint blocking
Block
the paint.
and
No,
rebound.
it's all in the paint too. He cannot guard from the 3-point line to the paint. He has to sit down low, and that's why Miles Turner might kind of light us up here because he can shoot the 3-ball.
he can
And,
shoot, yeah.
But I mean, if Halliburton can turn it up, we could be in some trouble. But I just don't see it happening.
I'm not betting it, but I think the Pacers get a big win tonight.
I disagree. I think that if they wanted it, they would have got it last game. And
It's just
they're gonna-
crazy to me that they have that potential to play up to. I didn't think they would be able to give that good of a series to the Knicks, but
I still think it's over in 5. I think we win tonight and we take 1 in Indiana, and then we're not going to lose in the Garden.
but we'll,
I think it comes back New York game 5, 2-2, and then
but
Knicks
next
win
time you
2
hear
straight.
from us this
That's realistic.
weekend, it might be dead.
Right.
But the
What?
Pacers season.
Oh yeah. If they go up 2-0, I do think the series is close,
No,
very
it's
all but
I'm
over.
sticking
Not-
with the theory. You got
I
to lose
think
on
it's
your home
pretty
floor.
cute, and it's not. It's
It's
not.
pretty cute.
It's not
I
that
was gonna say
scenario.
this
No,
is
I
the one
agree with you,
series
though.
where I don't
Yeah,
think I'm
they're
gonna
not
use
good.
their excuse.
But still, like
But,
for being dead at least.
If they would have, like Mackie said, if they would have won game 1, I'm looking at this series.
Oh,
a
yeah.
they
lot
literally
different.
should have won game 1. They
That
had
was a
everything-
lot of
that game
crazy
won.
calls in that game, huh, Mackie?
Yeah, they all went the Knicks' way. I'll tell you that. I'm not even gonna.
Home
cake
court
that.
advantage.
They got the calls in that game. Dante DiVincenzo.
In the NBA,
Don't get me
it's true.
wrong.
The
That
refs-
was a foul.
it-
That was a foul, but it was a weak ass call. You guys know what I'm talking about? The screen.
Yeah.
Weak.
It's-
You
yeah.
cannot.
you could call that a
dude.
lot
the end.
more.
You cannot call that.
It's
in that
ticky
scenario.
tack for that situation.
Yeah,
Bless you.
for sure. But
You can't call that with 2 minutes left in an
it
NBA
was.
game.
I think it was like 50 seconds. Like it was like ridiculous. It was. You can't make that call. But listen, I'll take it. We got the win. We got it out of our.
Yeah,
out of our
They don't
system.
ask how, they
And
ask
now
how
we just
many.
got to take care of business.
Dude, I know I said this earlier. West Virginia's playing Penn State on ESPN2 right now, and I was watching some on here, and it just flipped to this. They're just showing all these Morgantown families having fun in the outfield. I'm like, I literally feel like every single person there is just fucking apparently, some kid on West Virginia was the Big 12 Player of the Year.
Yeah, JJ Weatherholt.
Yeah, you already.
He
Yep,
batted
something.
second, or he was second best batting average in college baseball last year.
You could have finished your first thought because he does bat second.
think-
That's correct. They just
I think
showed
he's
the lineup.
projected like top 5 pick too.
They said this pitcher for Penn State's a stud. He's 6'2", 195.
Alrighty, let's jump into this last series here in the NBA. The Boston Celtics secure a Game 1 victory in dominating fashion, covering their 11.5-point spread and winning the game over the Cavs by a score of 120-95. Game 2 in Boston will be Thursday night. How long will this series last, and what do you think about the Cavs? Do you think they can win a game in this series? Who wants to get us rolling here?
That one, maybe one. The only thing about the Celtics you have to talk about is, Chris Beck, Porzingis, how you doing? Are you healthy? Are you getting good for the ECF? Because it's the only thing that matters in Celtic land right now.
Yeah, coming into this series, I didn't think it was going to be the same as last series, but I don't know. After game 1, I kind of think it's going to be the same.
They got dragged through the mud by the Magic and didn't help out at all. The Cavs.
Yeah, for sure. But there's really not much to say about this series.
The superstars haven't even had to play. Mac, you sent me that clip of Josh Hart and Jason Tatum, but look at them. They don't even have. Jason Tatum's well rested. He's barely even playing. I mean, we haven't seen the Celtics' backs against the wall yet, so we'll have to see as it keeps
Jaylen
going.
Brown. Jaylen Brown, big game last night though.
Yeah, I said it earlier. I think the Celtics they'll just handle business here. They might slip one up like they did against the Heat, but it did not matter if they go to Orlando or Cleveland. This is Boston series to lose, and it's max
Yeah,
5
it's
games.
crazy. It's crazy. The double-digit spreads.
And Cleveland's better than Miami. This Cleveland team's not bad. Mobley's been playing really good. They haven't had Jared Allen. Donovan Mitchell's obviously a stud in this league, but Garland. I just think this Celtics team
Too
is
good.
They're really good, and I think they're not going to get a good matchup until Mackey's Knicks
Yeah,
in the
agreed.
ECF.
I'm looking forward to it.
Go Mets.
Alrighty, let's hit these power rankings real quick before we get at the NBA. Number 5, the Denver Nuggets. Number 4, the New York Knicks. Number 3, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Number 2, the Minnesota Timberwolves. And number 1, the Boston Celtics there to round out the power rankings here for this week. Any comments on that, or should we move forward to the NFL?
Yeah, we just kind of ripped him. Yeah.
Celtics
Knicks
won.
keep-
Next.
Knicks keep climbing though. Knicks keep climbing on the come up.
Alrighty, into the NFL here. 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, J.J. Watt informed Texans head coach DeMeco Ryans that he would come out of retirement if needed to rejoin the Houston Texans, where his career began. Does J.J. have some valuable plays left in the tank? What do you guys think here about this one? Ace?
Yeah, I mean, he could if he stayed on the field. It's going to be the same problem he always has. His whole career, he'll get hurt at some point before it matters too much. But he's literally just ring chasing by saying this.
Didn't one of us joke about this when the Texans started to get good last
Maybe.
year?
I don't know, but I saw he.
I swear to God, one of us said, "Wait till J.J. Watt says I'm down to
Yeah, I
come
wanna
back," or
win
something
one.
like that. And as soon as I saw this quote, I was like, one of us said that.
He'd
I
make
just can't
big
remember
plays
who it
too,
was.
but you know what would happen? He'd literally get hurt.
He'd be the most
Oh
load
my
managed
god, the
NFL
snap
player.
management would go crazy. But no,
Yeah,
no
he-
shot. He's
I
coming
think so.
back. No shot. I'm gonna go with 0.
I don't know. Maybe if Daniil Hunter gets hurt,
He
they
said
might
like
have
he was
to.
like, "Don't call, but like if you really need to, you can call." Like basically saying, "Do not call me." Like, but
Yeah.
the door's open.
Alrighty, next one here. Odell Beckham Jr. has agreed to terms with the Miami Dolphins, with the wide receiver room consisting of Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and OBJ. Can this Dolphins team take the next step here this year? What do we think?
Fuck cares about Odell?
No,
Beckham
this is
Jr.?
hype. This is a great ad.
Oh,
No,
it's not.
alright, no.
It's
no,
you are
let
the
me
only
tell you-
one that
no,
cares
You
about
are.
it.
You really
All
are.
right, let me tell you this though. This isn't about Odell though. This is a great pickup for a Mike McDaniel's offense who plays the player's strength, the way they funnel the ball out, the quick routes, the quick hitters, and it's run after catch and what you can do in the open field. With Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle drawing all the coverage, how the hell do you not want this guy as your 3? It was Braxton Berrios or Chase Claypool last year. Name a better 3 receiver in the league. There's not many. I think it's a great ad. It's a low risk, high reward. Yeah, he could get hurt, but he's literally playing third snaps. And say Hill or Waddle go down like you always do. It's a guy that has star potential stepping into the role at least.
I can guarantee this guy's not on the field by week 8. Like
You think
guaranteed.
injured? Oh, you think injured?
He won't
Listen, he
come back,
got
he's not
arrested
gonna-
last summer. Like he's also like he's a problem. He's I guarantee you he will not be on the field by week 8.
I don't know though. Maybe if they're winning,
Back, he
it
won't
depends
get
on
enough
how much
touches
they're
to get
winning.
hurt.
What'd you say, Huff?
He won't get enough touches. Like to
he'll
get
get,
hurt.
like,
I don't think it's a hurt.
You
thing.
get
I
like
think he's
3 to
gonna, like,
5
either
catches
just
a week. I think if he's the true
blow his
3.
lid, or I think he's gonna blow his lid, or maybe get in trouble legally.
I was gonna say, here's your point of him saying blowing the lid. He was when he was in Baltimore. Like obviously they had. I'm blanking on their receiver names because they're never that good. Bateman and who's the other
Duvernay
guy?
or
Cleveland.
Flowers.
What's his name? No, Flowers. I was thinking of the tight end likely, but that's not. I was thinking of Isaiah Flowers. I just couldn't think of his name. But like Odell was like the vet in there in a young room. Like if you need a key third down, he's thinking in his head, I'm the veteran. They're going to go to me. They know we need a third down. They're going to go to me. That's not going to happen in Miami. Like it's a
I
Tyreek
think he
Hill's
knows
team.
that though.
Jalen Waddle's on the other side. He does. That's why he went to there because he thinks Tyreek's going to get double covered. Me or Jalen.
It's where he
Waddle's gonna be wide
flourished
open
behind
every
Cooper Kupp playing in a complementary role. I think playing in a third fiddle and a Mike McDaniel's offense that funnels the ball to the receivers so often. I mean, even as a number 3 receiver, you'll still get production. You'll get looks. You get 3 to 5 targets a week minimum. Just the way they play the game.
play. Over under 3.5 touchdowns on the year.
Touchdowns.
Under.
That's a tough call.
Also, 3 to 5 targets minimum is crazy.
They throw the ball so much though. Trent Sherfield and Braxton
They
Berrios
just
were
throw the ball a lot.
soaking up targets last year. This is how their offense runs.
We'll see. Maybe you're right, but I'm just not gonna. I'm not buying into Odell Beckham.
If he
It's not
stays
good.
healthy, it's a good 3 for a team that's looking to get better. I mean, if they're winning and they're doing what they did last year, Odell will be good. If they lose, he'll drop out and be out, like you said, by week 8. Success-driven guy.
I like that Titans new receiver room. Not comparing it to this one, but Ridley, Hopkins, and they
And they
had
still have
Tyler
Traylon
Boyd.
Burks, who's like a top
Yeah,
pick.
Traylon
Why the hell
Burks
do they
still.
keep adding on with receivers?
That's the new head coach. He's like, I didn't draft Traylon Burks. He's like, I'm going to bring over Tyler Boyd from
Yeah,
Cincinnati.
they should move Traylon Burks. I'd take him in New England. I'll tell you that.
You take anyone.
I don't
You
think
take
he's that
him.
good.
You take him as a 3 in your room, no?
Yeah, I would.
Steelers signed Scotty Miller. We're just signing every.
He looks
fifth
like he'd play
receiver
for the
off a
Steelers,
fucking
though.
team.
Yeah, he does. That was a great analogy. He looks like he would.
You know who he reminds me of? Do you remember what was his name?
Yeah, he
Gunnar
played for the
Olszewski.
Patriots.
And
Yeah,
and then he came to the Steelers. And he muffed 2 punts and they cut
Yeah,
him
he's
the
a
next day.
Patriots Steeler wannabe. Classic. Scotty Miller, though, a big catch, if you remember. Do you remember his big catch? Do you
Super
remember his
Bowl
big
champion.
catch?
Yeah, against the
No, he had a big one against the Packers. He was the recipient of that Brady fake spike at the end of the half that sent them to the Super Bowl against Aaron Rodgers.
It was against the Packers. I thought that was against
That was
the
against
Rams.
the Packers in the NFC. Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
they lost to the Packers. I mean, to the Rams and when the Rams went to the bowl.
Alrighty, lots of good stuff out of the NFL into the MLB now. The Pittsburgh Pirates are calling up star prospects Paul Skeens, and the hard-throwing right-hander is expected to debut Saturday at PNC Park against the Chicago Cubs. Considered the best pitching talent in a generation, the 21-year-old Skeens will arrive in Pittsburgh after dominating AAA, allowing 3 earned runs in 27 1/3 innings, striking out 45 batters. Huff, we head into the game on Saturday. What do you think? Ticket prices are heading up, but what do you guys think about this one?
What's heading up for the Pirates,
Hey,
though?
so me-
What's the lowest ticket going for?
This.
On a weeknight,
even
it's like
wanna
$8,
know.
but that's a Saturday night, so I'd say 26, but it's up to like 55.
Whoa! Definitely break the
Wow.
bank for that one.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'd rather them be low.
Is he
No,
starting?
that's fire. I'm saying. Yeah, he's starting.
Let's see.
Yeah, I believe so, right?
He's definitely starting. He's been shoving this year. You guys definitely got to go to that game. I think he's going to be a great talent. Hopefully, you can retain him unlike your
Oh, yeah.
past superstar pitchers. You definitely got to send that game. I think he's going to have a big day with big strikeout numbers.
We're gonna. I hope it all works out, and we'll have a nice little core with Skeens and obviously Jared Jones.
Yeah.
We've seen the success that he's had to start this year. Pirates have been drafting well. Obviously, you have Mitch Keller under contract. I think. I don't know if he's a one,
middle
but
of the
you know if
rotation
he's
guy.
your third guy in your room, yeah, I love to have him as a number 3. If Skeens can come up and just dominate the way he's been, I love Jared Jones. I'm excited to watch Skeens. I think obviously they just keep fucking losing games to bad teams. They just went on a stretch with the AL West and the NL West where I think they went like fucking 4-12. Like you can't do
Tough.
that. It's so
Back to the Skeens point real
I-
quick, though. You can buy a Skeens jersey and wear it to the game Saturday knowing you'll be able to wear it for years to come. I'm telling you that.
till the Yankees want him in 3.
That's all right, though. Buy it now before it even starts so you have it for the glory days. I'm
Glory-
telling
the
you,
glory days.
that would be a good one. There'll be a few people at the game already with one. It's gonna last for a while. I think he's gonna be great.
No, we don't, Jesse.
Yeah, it's the list Mackey sent. I
Oh
agree.
yeah,
that
we
ba-
do.
like,
Never
that
mind.
basically locked.
I'm bugging.
Let me look again. Sorry.
It's right here. It's in the real group chat,
Just-
not the.
I
pin.
just
That's
didn't make
why,
the
my
graph.
bad.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I can read that. Alrighty, let's hit these power rankings here in the MLB. Coming in at number 5, we have the New York Yankees. Number 4, the Atlanta Braves. Number 3, the Baltimore Orioles. Number 2, the LA Dodgers. And number 1, the Philadelphia Phillies to finish out our power rankings here for this week. What are we thinking coming into this week here, Ace?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on in the MLB here. It's great to see the Dodgers jumping back up. I could have had them at number 1. Yeah, they're playing the Miami Marlins, which really helps you get you right back on the track. But even before that, they've been doing their thing. Best offense in the league. Shohei Ohtani taking over the lead of home runs. He's got everything going up there. He's the best player in the league. But beyond that, the Phillies doing their thing, continuously winning, continuously hitting. I know they dropped one today, I believe, but they've been doing their thing. Hit around Barrios yesterday, which was crazy to see. Bryce Harper leading the way. I know Trey Turner's on the IL, but they got that streak still rolling. Baltimore Orioles ahead of the Yankees here. It's because the Yankees have been dropping a few. I think the Braves are going to jump back up. They got less games played than a lot of them. They need Acuna Jr. to jump back on the scene, but there's a lot of teams we really could have put in here. Guardians still playing good baseball. Found out a way to win today on this day baseball. So we're going to keep a good eye on it, but there's a lot of good things happening. A lot of guys coming back from the IL, which is great to see too. We saw Verlander come back. I know Pivetta came back, Luzardo, a bunch of other big names. Walker Buehler made his highly anticipated debut for the Los Angeles Dodgers. So there's a lot going on. A lot of young guys coming up too. So I know we're entrenched in the playoff realm right now, but baseball's kicking off long, and we got these live streams going where we're giving you some daily picks, getting a lot of plays out. I know I've been enjoying it. Tomorrow's a nice Thursday when you're listening. Get a lot of day baseball. So Mackey's Mets turning around too. A lot of different ways you can look at it right now, but a lot to follow around the league, keep you entertained during the day.
Dude, West Virginia's up 7-0 in the bottom of the first inning, and Penn State hasn't even gotten an out yet.
It's fucking college baseball, man.
West Virginia just hit a grand slam, and they haven't even gotten an out yet.
Alrighty, Ace. Anything else in the MLB?
No, I mean, tune into the podcast Sunday. We'll dive into the games deeper. But yeah, as the season heats up, we'll get more for you.
Alrighty, we had the Kentucky Derby here this last week with 18-1 odds and jockey Brian Hernandez Jr. aboard. Mystic Dan held off late charges from Sierra Leone and Forever Young to emerge victorious in a photo finish. The Kentucky Derby's first involving 3 horses since 1947 by a nose. Anybody do some betting on the Derby at all?
No, I did a cool thing that we should have done. Next time there's a big horse race, remind me. You know what you got to do? My uncles, I told you about the 8x8 they did for March Madness. So here's one. Everybody does a $5 buy-in. You split up the horses. Everybody gets 5 of them between 4 people, and then it's a winner take all. So you got a few horses in the race. Kind of a fun way to look at it.
The Preakness is coming up.
Yeah,
That's in a couple weeks.
I remember
Looking at
watching
week.
it. The quickest event of the life. I love the introductions too. People dressed to the nines, and then these little dudes come rolling out. Been doing it forever. They got those horses going. The guy who won it this year, kind of the owner, kind of an asshole on TV. I don't know if anybody else picked up on that when he was getting interviewed, but I thought that was pretty funny.
It's apparently the owner of that horse is in a big ownership group, and they had 2 horses in the race, which is very, very uncommon.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's very rare that 2 of your horses get picked out of.
Yeah, that you can
Whatever
have
it is, like
literally 2 horses
18,000.
in the race.
Well, it's the choices are. I don't even understand it. But
Is the owners different than like the trainers? Because that Baffert guy used to have like 5
Yeah.
horses in every Kentucky.
multiple, they all use similar trainers, but the owners are different because like there's the pool's like 18,000 or something like that, and they pick like 12 every year.
That's wild.
How many are in the Kentucky?
12, I think. I think it's like 12 or 13.
I think it's.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought it was
20.
20 because there
It's
was a
20.
17.
is there?
Yeah,
horse.
it's 20, and
Oh, you're right. You're right.
and this year didn't one drop
Yeah,
out,
one
so
I'm
they
thinking.
didn't renumber him. They made him 21.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I've never really
There's like
gotten
no
into
19 or something
how
like
much
that.
I like.
But they went to 21. I was like, why the hell is there 21? They're like, oh no, that's the next guy up right there.
Interesting. All right.
They were like, he's the call up.
But no, I think it's a fun event. I got to go to one of those one day. I feel like that'd be a great thing to maybe eventually go to. The day itself is
Yeah.
filled with a lot of different festivities. You know, a lot of money though. A lot of money going around with those things.
Heck yeah. Alrighty, boys. That's about everything we got here this week. Anything to add before we get on out here?
Let's fucking go, Bruins. Come on. Let's go. Playoffs, baby.
What
Right
time's that
now.
game start?
7:30.
8? Right now.
Get on
All
it.
right, yeah. Thanks for listening, and we will see you guys next week / this weekend for the live stream. Other than that, make sure you're staying tuned to the social medias, getting plays out there. Obviously, NBA, NHL, NBA or MLB as well as the NBA and NHL playoffs near the Eastern and Western Conference Finals. MLB continues to roll on. Like I said, whenever make sure you're staying tuned to the social medias, get those post notifications on. Make sure you're liking, sharing, subscribing. The whole 9 yards. We really appreciate it. It goes a long way. Thank you for listening, and we will see you guys next week.